Welcome to the Thursday, April 30, 2026 meeting. Please silence cell phones, pagers, and other electronic communication devices. Agendas and speaker request forms are located at the back of the chambers. Typically, people will be here for a reason today to talk about their tax assessments. So we're all here today, so I'm going to lead us in a moment of silent reflection, and just for the people that gave all in our country to keep us free. Thank you, and then we'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't know how many times I can say that Pledge of Allegiance, but it always gives me those good feeling of living in a country that we can express our freedoms and our rights, and we have people that give their lives for us to be able to do that. So thank you, and thank to all them and their families for their sacrifices. So items from public per SDL 125-1, speaker request form is required. Action will not be taken on these issues. I have no speaker request forms, so we'll move on to item 6, County Board of Equalization hearings, and I'm going to give the floor to Mr. Shannon as he winds down his career with the Pennington County.
That's fine.
The day he leaves.
It's a good thing.
He's getting the final laugh, and let me tell you. So.
Well, good morning,
and you have the floor,
Commissioners. The first property we've got is a Rushmore Plaza property. Trevor's going to stand up, and Mr. Nooney is representing the property owner there, and Trevor has an introduction on it.
Thank you. Trevor, you have the floor, sir. I think you're the only guy in the building who looks sharper than Shannon, so.
Well, it might have been purposeful. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was. You're looking for his job, aren't you?
So good morning, Commissioners. Trevor Abernathy with the Equalization Office. We are starting the day here with the Rushmore Plaza LLC. This was the Holiday Inn by the Monument Event Center. Now it is the DoubleTree by Hilton, so it did have a brand change. This is the 205-room hotel, and this property has been under appeal since the 2023 assessment. It went to court at that time. The value as of November 1st, 2022 was set with that court decision at $12,130,000. Since that time, after reviewing updated income information the following year after that court decision, we stipulated to a value of $14,500,000. This year, an independent third-party appraisal was written. We got approval from the board to hire Craig Steinley to write an third-party appraisal on this to get an outside opinion on our value. The original assessment that we have based on our income model on this particular hotel is $18,175,400, and the third-party appraisal is indicating a value of $17,830,000, with $16,300,000 attributable to the real estate. So my recommendation with this, since we have hired for this opinion on market value, is to set the value for the 2026 assessment at $16,300,000 for this hotel. To be clear, there's no land included with this property, as it is built on a leased site. And I did share the restricted appraisal report as a member-only file, so I can't show it on the screen here, but you should have access to that in Diligent there. So with this one, the back and forth on it with the court case and getting updated income information, and then having that third-party appraisal on it, I do feel that it would be wise to follow that third-party appraisal value for the year at the 16.3. And there is a difference between my income approach and the third-party appraisal in mainly one area. And we have the restricted appraisal report right now. I don't have the full narrative to see all the income and expense statements that were provided to the appraiser that wrote it. So I do need to review that to determine exactly why we're different in that area. But
Thank you, Trevor. I had one, this property went under an extensive PIP, right?
yes,
Is it completed?
with that, a lot of
They've changed the name to Doubletree
Yep.
that's a pretty high quality caliber franchise name.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
So there were millions of dollars put into the exterior prior to the 2023 assessment, which was part of the reason for our increase, which was part of the reason for the appeal. And then at that time, they were indicating that they needed to undergo improvement on the interior as well.
Right.
So as far as I know, that's done. But we were hiring out that third-party appraisal, and he was given the information
Okay,
for this
perfect.
year's.
So we'll go to, if you want to give your name for the record, and we'll go to you you can give your spiel.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, Commission. My name is Jared Nooney. I'm a law partner here in Rapid City at Nooney & Soleil LLP. Would you like me to address your question first, Commission?
Yeah, you could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll address your question, and then I'll kind of just give you a summary and answer any questions that any of you may have. First off, thank you for allowing me to be here. It's been some years since I've been in front of the Commission. Yes, the PIP is still in progress. So some things and some realities. I'm not here to criticize Mr. Steinle. He is a respected appraiser. I've used him personally for matters related to my law practice. But there's some things I think that are overlooked within Mr. Steinle's appraisal. There was roughly $3.5 million for the PIP that was spent as of November 1 of 2025. That is, of course, the appraisal date that Mr. Steinle used. That is not, at least from my reading of the appraisal, I would recognize, as Mr. Abernathy did, it's a restricted appraisal. But that $3.5 million doesn't seem to be accounted for. Mr. Abernathy kind of talked about some of the things that I'd like to just touch on. He had mentioned that essentially there's a brand change. So this is a full-service hotel, 205 rooms. It went essentially from a Holiday Inn to Doubletree by Hilton. The PIP was going to be required regardless. As Mr. Abernathy acknowledged, there was a PIP when it was a Holiday Inn franchise for the exterior, and then ultimately the PIP was going to be required both by the Holiday Inn or Doubletree, so it's not as if the switch made the change. There's some competition that I don't believe has really been recognized. The Hyatt place is direct competition for my client's property, as well as, I say the new hotel, but the Clubhouse and Suites that's off of Catron Boulevard. Those are two competing hotels in competition for my client. Ultimately, I've talked with Ken Simpson, who did the appraisal previously. As Mr. Abernathy acknowledged, there was essentially a court trial that took place back in February 2024. At the time, the county had an assessed value of $20,735,100. Mr. Simpson had done an appraisal at that time, and he came up based on the income approach of a value of $12,130,000. Essentially, the circuit court judge in that matter, it was a 2-day trial, adjusted the assessed value to the penny for what Mr. Simpson appraised the property at. I think it's important to know, not only is there a PIP, the total PIP estimated amount's about $7.5 million. It's only about half complete. The planned completion date is sometime into 2028. It's going to be essentially, the interior right now, they're about done, halfway done with the rooms, but it interrupts an entire floor. So that, of course, also causes, a negative impact on the revenue. Beyond the rooms, the PIP is also going to require the common areas. You know, there's a restaurant here, there's public areas, there's an atrium, so the PIP is pretty extensive. I've provided kind of a summary just of the assessed value over the years. The 2 years prior to this, there was a negotiated amount of $14.5 million. My client is respectfully requesting that the commission reduce the amount. Mr. Steinley's appraisal after backing out the FF&E is $16.8 million. If you back out the $3.5 million for the PIP that was expended as of November 1 of 2025, you get to $12.8 million. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Thank
Yes,
you.
Commissioner Roshkinick, you have the floor.
So I attended that two-day trial. And I listened to testimony. And one of the problems that I had with Mr. Simpson's appraisal, and I think he put it in his report, would be he was just relying on the accuracy of the income numbers that was provided to him and the expenses. My question was, why can't we get tax returns so that we can see what Uncle Sam's getting instead of, I've done enough appraisal of motels, and you know, you assume these numbers are right, and you assume everything's at market. Everything seemed to be below market to me in that valuation that Mr. Simpson did. But the bottom line is, when they got down to the room revenue for that particular year, I take that total room revenue and I divide it by 205 rooms, and I come up with so much a room. That just tells me, Ken, where are you guys at on a financial basis? And then I text the owner of the Howard Johnson's a couple blocks away, and he texts me back what his room revenue was for that year, and it was higher than what was reported for the subject motel. Something just didn't seem right. So. And we look at the last good sale that we have, it would be the Rushmore Hotel, is that right?
Correct.
What'd that sell for per room? It was a $20 million sale. I think it's
$1 million
177 rooms, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's 177.
But just on a per room basis, let's just say the income is really, really, really bad. Does that mean the bricks and mortar have to suffer too because you got bad income? If that property didn't have any income, I guess the question is, what's the bricks and the mortars and the real estate worth? So, you know, I don't know. When I see an appraisal and they're going to do an income approach, I want to see audited numbers, something that's gone through an audit, or actual tax returns. I mean, to me, everything that I saw that day just seemed, at that testimony, it just didn't seem right compared to the stuff that I've seen through the years of appraising hotels. So I'm just sharing that with you today.
So Trevor, what'd you get per room?
Commissioner Hadcock, you have the,
Sorry, per door?
It's roughly 118,000.
Okay, so at Steinley's appraisal of 16 million, whatever, if I'm not mistaken, that comes out at 80,000 a room. And to me, for that kind of a hotel sitting next to the monument, that just seems really, really low. And so I even think Steinley's low myself, but I can accept that appraisal.
okay. So Commissioner
Mr.
Durden.
Chair. Yeah, I'm just going based off the 16,300,000 that you have. That comes out to 79,512 per room.
Correct.
Okay. And so Mr. Nooney brought up a couple points about the appraisal and the PIP. Could you respond?
Yes, I could. Our opinion is that it is improper to take the value of a PIP straight off the value of the property. A property improvement plan is something that is required by essentially every franchisor for a hotel. So every hotel out there is going to be doing either 6 years or 10 years, and they're going to be working on soft goods or hard goods remodels. And that is something that should be put into reserves for replacement. in your income and expense. It shouldn't be something that, oh, after 8 years, I have to put in $7 million, so my property's suddenly worth $7 million less. That's an expense that is known and planned for. It shouldn't be a yearly, like once every 10 years you reduce the value. It should be a yearly accounted for thing on the income and expense statement, which would affect the overall value all the time, not just when the PIP is due.
Commissioner Durr, you
Yeah, one more question. So, and the appraisal came in at what?
For Craig Steinley's appraisal, it came in at $16,300,000 after personal property was removed.
All right. And Mr. Dooney, you made a statement that, on the previous appraisal on Simpsons at 12 million and change, you accepted that one, correct?
Sorry, I accepted what?
The appraisal that came in before where you had that number in the court accepted it for the Simpson valuation at 12 million and change, then you made a statement, I believe, that you accepted that appraisal, correct?
Yes.
All right.
I mean, and that was a circuit court judge decision. There was not a appeal to the Supreme Court. I mean, that was it as of 2023 value.
Right.
Commissioner Hancock?
So can you tell me, Trevor, in the motels in town, what's the average that you're basically rating them per door? Because I know on the weeklies, they have an average as well.
The average per door overall 90-some hotels that we have on the income model, I don't have the average per door.
Do you have some of them that you've done that are comparables to this?
So the Rushmore would be a highly comparable property.
And that's when you took 80 per door, or how much?
That is the one that sold for roughly $118,000 per door. That's not exactly what we have it assessed at, but that's what it sold for in 2023, I believe.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner
So when
Roscoe.
you say it sold for that, then included was the going concern, Blue Sky, and there was a lot of the other
Correct.
stuff. So to actually find out what they paid for, what the contributory value of the rooms were, you'd have to analyze it just a little bit better, but
Correct, and we did, and we were at about just over 18 million indicated for real estate on that sale.
But in Steinley's report as a going concern, including everything, he was at 17 million or in
Correct.
change. And at the testimony, that 2-day court testimony, Jay Alderman brought up the fact that the Lester family had an appraisal on the property for financing purposes, I believe. And, that'd been a few years before. And that appraisal was 17 million and change. So, I had to ask myself, how can this get appraised for financing purposes for 17 million and change? And then a couple of years later, we're down at 12 million. I'm just still scratching my head on that one. It just, a lot of this didn't make any sense.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'm going to make a motion to set the value of the land at zero structures at $16,300,000 for a total of $16,300,000.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Hearing none, motion carries. The board set it at 16.3 as per the appraisal, the third-party appraisal. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next up for bids there, Shannon, you have the floor, sir.
Our schedule allowed more time for that, so we're ahead right away. The next property is Harrison. Commissioner Rosknecht, you're representing these property owners. Are
Yeah,
they?
they came to me, I told, that I wanted them to go to the local boards.
Are they planning on being here?
I told them they didn't have to be because it's not that complex. So
Well, what I'm getting at is do we go to that or do we wait for somebody to show up?
no, I don't think they're going to be here at all.
Okay, all right, so then let's go ahead with it. Dawn is here.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is item B on your agenda, property owner Harrison, and I am Dawn Puckett, appraiser with Pennington County Equalization. This is appeal of parcel number 47798, a residential parcel located on Old Hill City Road, less than a mile west of the heart of the town of Keystone. The house, the land area of the parcel is 4.38 acres, and it is improved with a house, 1,600 square foot built in 1918. There is a 900 square foot detached garage, a small equipment building, a shed-type structure, and also 2 other single-wide mobile homes on the site. This appeal was heard before the Keystone Board. Get the board document up. The board action was to reduce the land value to the amount the taxpayer requested. The reduction was based on a perceived inequity of assessed values of land in the area of the subject. The action lowered the land value from $167,400 to $87,600, with no change to the structure value. The taxpayer requested to continue their appeal to the county board. But the Equalization's office stance is that the action taken by the local board created an inequity among the residentially classed parcels in the Keystone neighborhood. So based on this equity, I am asking the board to reinstate the original 2026 valuation.
Okay, what, can you recommended reinstating the value to 167.4 and 215.4? Is that correct? Can you tell us where it's at now? What the local board dropped it down to? Okay.
And I apologize, I had the wrong board document up. The local board reduced the value to 87.6 on the land and left the structures alone at 215,400 for a total of 303,000.
So basically what we're coming down to is the land value, you got 4 acres plus, 167,400 for 4 acres?
Yes. 4.38
That's
acres.
$40,000 an acre.
And I have some sales, even though when I visited with the taxpayers, their complaint was not necessarily the valuation, but their valuation in relation to a parcel that lies east of them. So I have a little bit of sales to go through with you, and so improved and bare land both.
Okay.
To any assessment hearing, market value is a relevant concern, and so I pulled comparable sales. The comparable sales show an adjusted sale price range of $285,000 to $456,000 for the subject property. This is a range of $277 a square foot to $354 a square foot, while the subject is at $230 a square foot.
Square foot or acre?
I didn't catch that.
Are we talking square foot or acre?
No, that's the square foot of the improved sales.
Oh, okay.
Just the improved sales. Now, we can look at some land sales as well. I have a spreadsheet for that.
Thank you.
This spreadsheet is a listing of bare land sales from the area of the subject, and they illustrate the general sale price per acre trends for residential property in the area, and that's in the black box here in the middle. The subject property at 4.38 acres is at $38,200 per acre. And I have parcels on either side of that in the 3-acre range and the 5-acre range that are well above the $38,200 of the subject. And those are highlighted in yellow on the sheet there. And if you actually look at the per acre trends on any of these, the assessed per acre of the subject is the lowest of any of these sales per acre.
Except for the one right below it. It's 35,000.
Oh, yep, that one's at
That's the one that they're
35,000.
complaining about, or?
Yeah.
That is the one that they had the issue with?
Yeah,
You said they had an issue with one of their properties that was adjacent to them?
I'm sorry,
I'm sorry.
I can go into more detail on that when we
Okay,
get to it.
fine. Go ahead, Mr. Roskinek. You have the floor.
So their question was, and I'm gonna need rapid map so everybody can see this at the same time. The first ID that I would ask that you go to would be the property in question, which is the Harrison property. It's 4.38 acres. It is located in Keystone, and the ID number is
47798.
47798, that's correct. Can you turn the aerial on that? Okay, now, a little bit about this property. It does have a view of Mount Rushmore,
Up on top,
and
yeah.
it's accessed off of the Hill City Keystone Road. I call it the Hill City Keystone Road. So can you share with us what that is being assessed at per acre? Because this is kind of where they were going at. It's 18,000 or 38,000?
It's 38,200 per acre
Okay.
is the assessment.
Okay, thank you. And now, but their concern was, if, can you go to the two lots to the east? And there's another acreage within a couple acres of this one, and it's right there. So can you click on that? And that acreage there is improved with probably one of the nicest hotels in the Black Hills called the K-Bar S. And the improvements are assessed at over $1.6 million. And that land's being assessed at what per acre?
I do not have it's 14,000 per acre. Sorry about that.
So when they saw that 14,000 an acre, and theirs is at 38,000 an acre, and this one's improved with $1.6 million in improvements, you know, they just said, something doesn't seem right, and that was their question. They felt that there was an inequity, and that's why they went ahead and filled out the form. Why they put the 20,000 down, I don't know. I mean, that's what they thought if that's worth, if that's being assessed at 14, you know, maybe we should be at 20, and that was their rationale. They weren't complaining about the value whatsoever. They're just complaining, they were just trying to figure out why the big difference. And when I was talking to the county yesterday, they said, well, the big difference is that property doesn't have access off the Hill City Keystone Road. But if I recall yesterday when we were talking about the Swanson property, there was 4 properties off of Brimrock Highway that we were talking about. And when the issue came up with access, well, they said it's all the same ownership. So, you know, technically they got access. So the county, we went along with their recommended request for assessed value based on that methodology. The same thing applies here. On the left of that is the K-Bar S, on the right is K-Bar S. And so the question is, are they really landlocked? And so now you're at 33 cents a square foot for that lot shaded in blue. And it's got a view of Mount Rushmore, and it's got city water and sewer. And it's being used for a very profitable hotel. Now, can you go to ID number 58082? Say that again. 58082. Now, this is a lot located on the way to Keystone, and it's got the hotel that we did the tax deed on. It's 4.01 acres. And you can see that a good portion of that lot is timbered, because when they built the hotel, they didn't have hardly any room for the septic system because of the terrain. So you can see that thing has got steep terrain. It doesn't have a view of Mount Rushmore, and it is not on city water and sewer. What's that assessed at per acre?
Joe, can you take 193.7 and divide it by 4.01?
Or let's just go per square foot. Per square foot, it's $1.11 a square foot.
Okay.
Now, that's $1.11 a square foot, and we go back to the K-Bar S with city water sewer view of Mount Rushmore, and that's assessed at 33 cents a square foot, or 14,000 an acre. I think this is where what they're trying to figure out. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Right.
I'd say that we have to revisit that one, Shannon.
Can I,
Oh, go ahead.
can I speak?
Yep, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I do have a little bit more with my presentation, just like a minute,
Okay,
and
yeah.
it might help with some of this,
So I think-
some of these
I
questions.
think what we're coming down to is that if you could tell us why the K-Bar S acreage is so much less than, I mean, they're a commercial property.
And I
Typically,
can-
they're a little bit higher usually.
And I can explain a little
Okay,
more.
perfect.
So first of all, will you go back to my screen, Joe? Thank you. In the equalization office, we classify our properties. They're residential, they're commercial, they're bare land. And the land values for the subject are in a residential neighborhood. And the reason I feel that the local board created the inequity by lowering this parcel is because other residential parcels in this area have similar values to the subject property. So the subject at 4.38 acres, classified residential with an assessment of $167,400. Here I have two similarly sized parcels just down Old Hill City Road from the subject, a 3.5 acre parcel with a value of $151,900. And then there is a slightly larger parcel, 4.67 acres, classified residential with a valuation of $172,500. So those show that within the classification of residential, that the subject property is being treated equitably.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that that is as much as a problem as we have, like, I guess if we stay on point, then you're correct that we
Well,
need to talk about where this property should be, I guess. But I guess Commissioner Roskinek, the reason they brought this up was that they look at this other property and they feel there's an inequity, but
right.
that's a whole nother conversation, I guess.
Well, I'm going to address that now. So, and I have the subject parcel here in blue and the neighboring parcel in question in green. In order to have an equity argument, the parcels would have to be equal, and we are not considering them as equal. First of all, the neighboring parcel is classified as commercial, where the subject parcel is classified as residential. Those classifications drive the sales that we look at to set values. The subject parcel can stand alone to achieve its maximum value and its highest and best use, while this commercial parcel achieves a maximum value only when associated with the other K-Bar S parcels. The commercial parcel is assessed by assemblage with 3 other parcels under the ownership of K-Bar S Lodge. And access to the residential parcel is not impeded, while the commercial parcel is landlocked, relying upon access from the east. Now, I will agree that it is beneficial to the neighboring parcel that it is the same ownership either on east and west side. And so technically, it's not landlocked because it's the same ownership.
Right.
If this parcel were to have a different ownership, the value could be even lower
All right,
because,
I'm gonna stop
because
you
it
right
would be
there.
landlocked.
I'm going to stop you right there because I think we're getting into a semantic argument because I sat up here yesterday and had the same argument that you're making, and I got shot down. So let's look at this property and decide whether it's where it's supposed to be in comparison to where it's not supposed to be. And then we'll take this K-Bar S property on a separate note because we had another one that we're looking at too, because you guys now you're making this opposite argument that was made on the other properties that we assessed yesterday on, you know, I had that question and everybody told me that.
Swanson property.
Yeah, the Swanson property, yeah.
Yep.
And everybody told me, well, they're assemblage, so they do have access. And I'm like, I thought we handled each one of them. So we'll have that conversation another time. So let's stick to this property here in commission and let's make a decision on this particular property. And then Shannon and Trevor can come back on K-Bar S. If they're under, then we need to approach that property on a separate conversation. Is that fair enough, guys? All right.
Fair.
So let's stick to this property and say, so the conversation will be about this specific property?
Yep.
Is it, do we change this, guys, or what? I'm looking for the commission to make a motion on what they think here. So,
Jeremy?
Commissioner Hadcock.
So the issue is, you start lowering this to 20,000 and you have all those other properties around there that are comparables, you're gonna cause some major inequity, so I'm not willing to do that. Do we need to look at some of those properties and see, what we can look in the future for those 2 hotels and where that goes? I understand, but I'm not willing to drop this to 20,000. I think it's, one of the lower ones in the area, so.
I think that's what Commissioner Roskinek had alluded to, and we'll let him answer that. They just wanted to know why there's an inequity, but we really need to probably address that on another
Well,
case.
the inequity is they're looking at motels, not subject properties for land and residential.
Right,
So
no, we
she's
get
doing
that. I think
comparables.
they understand that,
That's-
right, Commissioner
Ron,
Roskinek?
let me
Mr.
finish.
Chair,
But wait, she's gonna finish, I'm sorry.
Thank you, sir. So when you're doing land values and she's doing comparables, she's using residential right now. She's not using the other motels and stuff. So if you look at her comparables, if you look at their land, it's one of the lowest, second lowest in the area for that. So my motion would be to go with the assessor's recommendation at land 167.4, structures 215.4, 382.8, to make sure that this is equitable all the way across the board in that area.
So we have a motion to return this to the assessor's numbers, 167.4, 215.4. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second, so let's, any conversation on that particular motion? Commissioner
yeah, I'll
Roskinek?
just speak, earlier testimony during these assessment appeals, it was stated that commercial values are typically higher than residential. I mean, it's just common sense. And so all I'm saying is that I would like for your office to admit that there might have been some kind of an issue with the way these properties, the K-Bar-S, if they're a little bit underassessed.
I think we're not on that subject.
No,
and
Commissioner
that's
Hancock,
not
hold
her
on.
job. Thank
Commissioner
you.
Hancock,
speaking.
I got it.
Yeah,
All right.
it's not her job.
I
Speaking.
got it.
That's wrong.
Commissioner Hancock,
No, it's not.
I got it. I understand what
We
you're saying.
wouldn't be here if it wasn't this way.
What if she didn't appraise?
Oh, Commissioner Hancock, please, let him speak, and then we'll.
I pretty much said my piece. That's the reason we're here today, because when you sit there and look at those two, it does stand out. And as a taxpayer, they have a right to know what is going on. I mean, they pay taxes too. I work for them, I don't work for the county, so that's my.
All right, and I'm going to address that, and so. Thank you for apologizing. I am going to address that and say that Shannon, we need, can you come to the front, please, sir? We're going to give you some direction here to let's look at this K-Bar-S, because there's a solid conversation about why is this property so low. So we don't need you to answer that today, but we do need an answer. I mean, that's what we're here for, and when we come up with inequities, then we need to bring them to your attention, so you guys are aware of this one, and go ahead.
So what would you like?
I'd like to have a conversation about why is this property seemingly undervalued. I mean, if I was this person at this other subject property, I would have the same identical question of, if my property's residential, that property's commercial, and now you guys, the arguments is kind of swaying to the fact that they're not looking at assemblage. Yet yesterday, when we did this, and I raised the question, everybody looked at me with their eyebrows high and said, oh, it's an assemblage, Ron, so that's the only way they can access it. So let's have that conversation on this property. Why is it so much lower per foot or per acre than any of the surrounding property?
What I'm asking is when would you like that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do we have time this year to make an adjustment on it?
Mr.
Or is
Chair,
it too late? Commissioner Durr?
could you do it before you leave?
Yes. Yes. What I'm asking is at a commission meeting?
Yeah, that'd be fine. I mean, because it's too late to make any adjustments this year, but has it not been, and I would want to know when's the last time it's been appraised?
Well, every year it's appraised, but I can't tell you the
Well, I
last time we
wanna
were out there to
understand.
look at it, so.
Okay, so let's do that at a commission meeting, and we'll put it on the agenda, and then we'll have the conversation. If it's appraised every year, how can it, maybe we're missing something up here, So that's the question. Was that
Well,
fair?
We'll get it on the agenda to, the second meeting in May?
Before you leave.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll get
Second
an agenda.
meeting
item.
in May would be perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion on do we have a motion on the floor on this one, to leave it back to the assessors?
Right.
Everybody understand that motion?
Yep.
So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. So we put it back to where you, I mean,
You.
okay. Next item, Shannon, you got the floor, sir? And you'll bring that other property back too on the highway that we talked about, Shannon? Remember that when we were,
20-acre storage unit.
yeah, the storage units. We'll bring that one back with that one too? Why that, we had that conversation and we,
To discuss at the commission meeting?
yeah,
Yeah, okay,
on the second week in May,
okay,
before you leave.
okay. So that was Harrison. The next appointment we got is it Horseman? Laura is here for that. She is expecting the property owner to come in. The appointment time says 9:15 and property owner isn't here, so we've sort of got a break here. We're just waiting for property owner to come in.
Okay.
She expects them to be here.
Which one, number was that? I'm sorry.
Well, that'll,
Letter C.
let's see, Glenn Elson, Horseman.
Okay, gotcha.
So-
Okay. So we're just
That'd be
gonna
C.
take a break, guys? So.
We're looking, item C, and this is Elson Horseman, and they did come in. Yeah.
I mean, if you want the grand entrance, you can go out and then come back in to say that you're okay.
I was hoping to see somebody today do it before me, so.
Okay.
I gave Laura like 250 pieces, and then I found out afterwards I only had 5 minutes.
Thank you, sir. How are
so.
you?
You want one? Okay.
Okay, we'll let you go ahead.
Ready? Good
We're ready,
morning,
yeah.
board. Laura Jones, Pennington County Equalization. Subject property today is property ID number 25756, address of 1125 Haley Avenue, Rapid City. Owner is Glenn Elson Horseman. After a comprehensive review, I'm recommending that the 2026 assessed value of $238,600 be upheld. This includes a land value of $39,700, structure of $198,900, for a total, again, of $238,600, which equals to be about $276 a square foot. To support this valuation, obviously I've analyzed multiple comparable sales in the area. They range from $220,000 to $285,000. Square foot price is $192 to $371 range. Our office has had ongoing correspondence with Mr. Glenn, addressing and verifying all of his concerns, and he's actually submitted everything that we've talked to him about and his documentation as well. It's very important to note that obviously the 2026 value is what's being under appeal right now. The property data has remained consistent since 2021.
Thank you.
Given the data present, the subject property and assessed value falls well within the range of the market, supports the value, and reflects a fair and equitable valuation. For this reason, I recommend the board affirm the original assessed value of $238,600 for the 2026 assessed year.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead and, Mr.
All right.
Is it Mr. Horstman? You just give us your name for the,
Glenn Elson Horseman.
okay. We'll just call you Glenn, okay?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
So here, I actually have each page that I'm going to go through. So I am asking for a fair property value today based on accurate and consistent data per page 3 of the appeal process summary. Page 1, county uses comparable homes. Hallie Avenue homes were all built in 1956 to 1959. Block was mass appraised in 2021. My home is assessed higher with fewer features. Family owned since 1972, 1973, inherited in 2020. 2018 to 2021 shows normal increases. 2022 increased was 79.6%. Neighborhood average was about 20 to 30. No major improvements were made to my home. My increase does not match the neighborhood. Page 3, block includes larger homes and homes with garages. Block average is approximately $196,000. My value is $238,500. Page 4, no garage homes average about $194 per square foot. My home is about $276 per square foot. I do not have comparable features or upgrades. Page 5, 1121 Halley has a double garage, also has a walkout basement garage. It is still valued lower per square foot than my home. Page 6, these are the two best comparisons in my neighborhood. They both have, it's 1117 and 1109 Halley Avenue. These are similar homes with garages, walkout basement. 1117 is much larger than my home. Both have updated sewer lines and long-term ownership. My house is smaller than 1117 and has the original sewer line. Compared to truly similar home, mine is oversized. And sorry, I'm sort of quivering because I'm a little bit nervous.
Just relax. We ain't gonna bite you. So we're just like you, actually.
Yeah,
at the end of the
good.
day. So
Page 7, extra porch was counted incorrectly. Garage was listed when it did not exist. Features were listed incorrectly. No full inspection. Aerial imagery was used. Grade increased from an F+ to an A-. Page 8, porch existed prior to 2014. Porch areas have limited usability. No major upgrades were made. Largest increase follows record change, not physical changes. Page 9, last full reappraisal was 2014 by Roger. I inherited the property in 2020. Records after that contain errors and inconsistencies. Current value relies on those inconsistent records. Page 10, Roger took a backyard photo in 2014 that is on my assessment. You guys have it. The photo shows the walls on porch already existed. Photo shows deck and siding already in place. This shows the county had visual proof before 2021 that it existed. These features already existed in 2014. Page 11 used older data. They did my appraisal off of 1985 to 1980 or 97. Does not match 2014 reappraisal by Roger. Roger photos shows wall, deck, and siding already in place. Missing from record, enclosed walls, ramps, and front porch. The record does not match the actual property. Porch structure original to the home, 1950s. Enclosed wall does not create new construction. Underlying structure age and condition did not change. This is an original structure that was enclosed, not new living. Page 13, depreciation and value impact. Limited usability, low ceiling heights, condition issues, impact on value, requires higher depreciation, not equivalent to full living space, should not be valued as standard square footage. My assessment increases due to record errors, not property improvements. My closing statement, I have provided documentation and photos showing the true condition of my home and the inconsistencies in the county records. These inconsistencies have led to inaccurate valuation of my property. If the errors are not corrected, the same issues will continue and require repeat appeals in the future. I am respectfully asking the board to determine the correct property value today based on accurate and consistent information I have given you. My valuation is based on incorrect data, not the true condition or features of my home. I have also asked for Katie's evaluation, and here it left when she did. So I can't even go over past evaluations. And it was from that time that it has significantly grown.
Thank you. So this property has no basement, just the,
It's a walkout basement, same as 1117 and 1109. I took Halley Avenue as my base. These are all the same years that they were built.
right.
I'm a longstanding citizen, or my family has been. I acquired the property by inheritance in 2020.
Thank you. Okay. I was just asking about the basement. I
Oh.
mean, 873 square feet is the correct, that's what it is for square
Chair,
footage?
if I may.
Okay.
The 800 and changes above grade,
So
and then plus the basement.
He's got a couple comparables here that show the cost per square foot.
No, not cost.
On sales. Can I just address a few of his concerns real quickly? But when Katie went out in 2021, on our records, we showed that there was a basement garage. We corrected that because there was no longer a basement garage attached to the house, or in the house.
Can I add to that?
Hold on, sir.
One second, Glenn, yep. Yeah.
So that was adjusted and fixed in 2021. The only thing that we added was the deck on the outside of the house, which you can see in this aerial photo right here. That was added to the sketch because we didn't have that at that time. Prior to that, we had this building here, the enclosed porch here, and the enclosed porch here was on the sketch and has been on the sketch. So that was, but it's valued as an enclosed porch, not as living space, not as anything like that. It's as an enclosed porch. Let's see here.
My biggest concern is these comparables, because I mean, his cost per square foot, if you calculate that out.
I'll pull up the comparables that I have
I
here.
mean, I've sold a few houses, but I've never sold anything in North Rapid at that per square foot. That's why I'm interested.
Can I add something?
Glenn, hold on one second, please. We're trying to get down to the nitty gritty here, and then we'll, okay, hold on.
Let's see here, this isn't blowing up like it did last
Because
week.
we don't really care about the history, we're caring about where we're at today.
Right.
Does that make sense?
One of the big things, though, please, is here it showed an extra deck or an extra porch in the previous. It was incorrectly coded. I did not catch that until recently. Here, so if you look at the 2021.
Yeah, we're only caring about where we're at today, because
Okay.
whatever happened in the past, sometimes there's an error, sometimes
Okay.
there's, so what we're worried about is where she's at today, or, where your assessment is today, so,
So my sale comps, again, that's where we get our comps. There's from sales that have happened in the area within the last 1 to 3 years. And you can see that on my comp sheet here. We have Blaine Avenue, Haynes Avenue, East Chicago, Haley Avenue, and East Custer. That are all within the average minus range for the quality of the house. Square footage is all roughly the same. The only one that's a little bit bigger is the Haley Avenue one. That obviously has been adjusted in our spreadsheet or inside the system. It adjusts that automatically. Basic square footage, they're all roughly the same as his finished square footage. I mean, these are the comps that I have that I'm using that we get are getting his sale price or his assessed value from.
We got any questions up here? You're saying he has 480 square feet finished in the basement?
It's not totally finished. I mean, it's a walkout basement, but finishes come into, sheetrock, paint, all of the lighting fixtures and all of that stuff, and we have it as just partially finished for like storage areas that are not done. Yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Roskinek, sir? You have the
I
floor.
think what we owe to this gentleman to, on the screen, let's put 1117 Halley up. That's one that he's mentioning on Rapid Map. And then on that one there, I just want to know the square foot of the building, and it should be 1,140 square feet.
Yes.
And just the 183, that just reflects the assessed value on the home, correct? That number?
The 180,
Well,
no,
you're saying that the assessed value of 117 or 1117 Haley is 180,300.
Yes.
And you're saying that's comparable to your home.
actually, it's a larger, 1117 is way
but you're saying it's-
larger. Right.
Not totally identical, but somewhat
No.
comparable. So if, I'm going to look at that on the Rapid Map. No. So is that 180,300 for the dwelling, is that correct? If you look at the,
Actually, it's for the land as well.
one,
If-
so the total assessed value is 180,300?
let me- I should have brought those notes, they're probably in
So can you go to the details on that so we can,
on the property.
well,
We're getting
I'm
into
asking
that.
them to go to the
Pull it up here.
details and then. So what I'm asking is what is the total assessed value of 1117 Alley? Land and building?
I'm sorry.
Land and building?
Yes.
Yeah, land and building total. Here's the 39.7 land, 140,600 building.
And how far is this home from your place?
2 houses over.
Okay, can we do the same thing with 1109? That's another one that he's got mentioned. It's, you got 147,100. Is that correct for that one, the total assessed value?
I would like to comment on the chair, if I may.
Yeah, let's let him finish here and then we'll. You want her to comment, Ron?
Yeah, I just
Go ahead,
want
and- go ahead and comment.
I want to see that his information is consistent with the county's.
Okay.
Ms. Jones?
1109 Halley, land is 39.7, building is 107.4, for a total of 147.1.
And how far is this house from your house?
So it's 2 over from Joe's, so it's all on the same street, and these are the only 2 walkout basements. And they do have newer sewer system. Mine still has the old one, which I wish I had a new one.
So you can see where I'm kind of struggling here is that,
Chair.
If I may, please.
Ms.
Chair.
Jones has a comment.
On the 1109 Haley Avenue, when we reappraised, as you can see by the photo, it looked like it was in fair to poor condition. The siding was in rough shape, windows were in rough shape. Since that time, I have gone on and looked at, or went on, I've looked at that house since then, and it has new sidings, new roof, new windows, new doors. And because we don't go out every year and look at every house every year, that information on that house has not been properly updated.
Which one's
Like
that?
the 1109 Haley.
Okay.
So instead of it being in a fair to poor condition, it's more on the average minus condition because they've done some updates to that. So back again, we don't go out every year and look at every house. So if they get updated after 2021 and we don't know about it with permits or whatever, we have no way of valuing that house and what's gone up and what's gone down.
So what kind of adjustments are usually made for value, for condition?
It depends on what's been done. And I just by photos and looking at the house, that they, on the 1109 Haley, they did have new siding, new windows, new doors, new roof put on the house. That house also does not have any attached enclosed porches or porch or deck at all on that house.
It does have a deck on the back of the house.
Now it does. Okay, so
Chair.
prior to it didn't.
Chair, I have a motion.
Commissioner Hadcock.
Okay, so based on the average of 227 per square foot, I put the structure at 156.4 and the land at 39.7, which comes to 196,100.
I'll second
We
that.
have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
196,
Motion
100.
carries. There you go, Glenn.
Thank you.
No need to be
for-
nervous.
Thank you for putting that together.
Thank you, Herman Jones' daughter.
You're welcome.
I go by Penny's husband, my wife, everybody knows her, so we're gonna call you Herman Jones' daughter now, as everybody knows Herman. Shannon, we're
Mr.
gonna
Chair.
give you back the floor, sir.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
can I confirm the numbers of that
absolutely.
motion?
Go right ahead.
Land was 39,700, and the structure was 156,400, for a total of 196,100. Thank you.
Mr. Hadcock. And Glenn, we're done with you, brother.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Yep, have a great day. Shannon, you have the floor, sir.
On to D, and this is Stephen and Deborah Rich.
Are they here? Yes. Oh, perfect, right here. So, and, okay. Go ahead, sir.
All
Appraiser.
right, good morning, Board. Chris Mooney, Equalization Office. The property in question is tax ID 28083, 3501 Gallery Lane. This is located on the southwest side of Rapid City along Meadowbrook Drive. It's a corner lot. This property was appealed to the local board here in Rapid City, and they lowered the value to what the value was last year at $322,100. Our office appealed it back to the county, as that creates a inequity. And the assessed value per square foot of this property is at $243.77
Before we
per
get
square
into
foot.
details, can I ask a couple questions?
Hold on 1 second. No, we'll get to you.
No, this is procedural.
No, we'll get to you.
No, this is
we'll get to you.
procedural on
Hold on a second.
the form they sent to me where they said.
Sir, I'm going to cut you off. He's talking. He's got the floor. As soon as he's done, we'll give you the floor. That's how the procedure works, sir. Go ahead.
All right. The assessed value per square foot of the subject property is $243.77. The comparable sales that I have range from a sale price per square foot of $194.73 to $357.81, with sale prices ranging from $340,000 to $550,000. And my recommendation is to uphold the original assessed value that the assessment office had of land at $74,700, structures at $285,100 for a total of $359,800.
All right. You just give your name for the record, so.
My name's Stephen Rich. This is my wife, Deborah
Hello.
Rich. And what I was asking initially was that after we had the hearing in front of the city board, I heard nothing till March 31st when I got a phone call and someone from Equalization said they wanted to schedule the appointment with the commissioners. And I'm like, well, I didn't appeal it. So I said I wanted the papers. So eventually on the 17th, I got a paper that says this is the appellate form, but do you have a signature on your form where it says the director actually signed it? Because ours is blank.
Shannon, or can you help us out here? I'm not sure what he's asking me.
It'd be
So
jurisdictional.
basically, you don't have it, you didn't appeal it, but
Well, and I noticed on your minutes, it said the taxpayer's appealing, and we didn't appeal it.
oh, so you're happy with, I mean,
So
you
it's a
didn't appeal
two-part-
the adjustment, right? With
Two-part
the
question.
county's appealing the adjustments that were made. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, and the form they sent to me isn't signed by anybody.
I don't necessarily know if has to be or not.
We just, we're required to provide you notice that we appeal. We did that by letter and by phone.
He called and said, what he said was, we set the appointment you wanted, and I said, I don't want any appointment.
Yeah.
And then we got it figured out, because I said, I didn't appeal it, and then he said, well, I guess.
Do you
we
want it to
are."
go back to what it was?
No,
Okay.
I'm just, this is just.
Procedural, we're trying
terms,
to
and then it
understand.
shows up that says, we're appealing it, so.
You
which
are
we-
appealing. You originally initiated the appeal, correct? Here's what, and this is what's
To the city
confusing.
local board, I appealed it.
Right, and then what happens is, here's what happens so you understand, and it is very confusing. I don't know if I agree with how that process works, but it's how the law is. And basically, when you appeal it to the local board, and then when it comes back to the county, the assessor's office can say, no, we don't agree with that. And so then you gotta come back here if you want, otherwise it goes back to what it was before the local board. Does it make sense? I don't know why it's that way. I've argued it. It doesn't do me any good. It's like, beating my head on the wall. I get where it's confusing to you because, like you said, you've already appealed it once, but the reality is, and they should explain that to you, but evidently they did not. So the fact of the matter is the assessor's office does not agree with the local board. So you have to have the county here
I
either
understand
agree
that.
or disagree. Does that make more sense to you? That's why, so you did appeal this, so. Does that make sense?
No,
Right. Yeah.
because I didn't appeal from the local board decision. So that's
You
all.
appealed it to the local board. You appealed your
I
assessment.
did,
Yes. Okay.
and they put it back at where it was.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what they do. Does that make sense?
No, that don't, well.
I don't know, do you tell them that
They know that. They do know that.
it doesn't matter?
Yeah. If the assessor's office doesn't agree with it, the assessor's office will bring it to us. We have the final answer. I don't even know if our answer is final. If you don't agree with us, you can take it to the circuit court.
No, I go to a hearing examiner in Pier, and we already did that 2 years ago.
Oh, you know the process better than I do.
No, but
All
I'm used to a
right.
world where
Well,
people
all right.
sign what they're doing.
Let's move on then.
So-
Okay, you know it better than I do. Okay, does anybody else have any questions? But
Mr.
we'll
Chair.
let you, Commissioner Dirk, go ahead.
I'm just going to say Shannon probably didn't sign because he's going to be done in a month, so.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Roskin.
so I guess my question is, you're not happy with the value, but you're okay with the land value? Is it
The the assessment for 2026, it went from 322,000 to up to 100, up to $359,000.
So,
The land value didn't change.
okay, so it's just the building
It was
that
all
you're,
based on the house.
okay.
Our house is a one level that we bought 11 years ago. It's 1,476 square feet with an attached garage, crawl space underneath. And 7 years ago, we remodeled the kitchen, but we did nothing to the house in the past year in terms of raising it from 322 to 359. We didn't paint it, we didn't put on a new door, we didn't do windows. It's still the original siding when it was built in '83 on the older part of the home. And they put a family room on the back in 2004, according to the date on the patio concrete. But, so we got this where they raised the assessment value on our house from $247,000 to $285,000. And so what I've always done since then, I look at other houses around me, the one next door to me, his assessed value, they have a 3-level home, that they actually bought for 380 something 3 years ago, his assessed value only went up $1,100.
Yeah, I get that part, and
There's a house across the street that's a B&B
well,
now.
what did it assess for total? I mean, that's what the key is. I mean, I hate to say it, but sometimes there's errors made or undervalued could happen, like at
According to the records that I printed off, the public search records, next door at 3505 Meadowbrook Drive, it was assessed last year at 369, and this year was assessed at $370,100.
And so how does your property compare in value to that property? Would you trade them houses? mean,
I
if you-
would, but there's a three-level home.
Right, you can't, yeah,
And
that's
it's been
not
re-sided,
practical.
and it's
yeah.
got new windows, and,
Okay.
and the lot's about the same, but they're.
So we're not disputing the lot, though, we're just disputing the value of the house itself, correct?
Yes.
The lot is fine, so.
All right. Mr. Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Dirk?
could you go through your comparables?
Yes. The subject property, it does not have a basement. In that neighborhood, there are very, very few sales of homes with no basements. So tried to find the best ones I could. There was one, the comp one is the only one that I could find that did not have a basement that sold, and that one was remodeled inside and out. So that's why it sold for $550 at that time. And all the others, they are of similar sizes, qualities. Year built range from 63 to 84, or excuse me, 51 to 84. And they do have basement finishes. But on the per square foot value, his is still about $100 square foot less than those based on the per square foot value of their sale price. And even based on the adjusted sale prices, if you adjust to take out that basement and all the other differences with those comparables, the adjusted sale prices are still, of those sales are still higher, ranging from $218 to $367 per square foot.
I got a question for you. That you said you took this you had a hearing on this previously, like a couple years ago? And what value did they come up with 2 years ago?
At OHE, they upheld the county's value at $340,700, I believe.
So why is it less than that now?
No, the value total is $359,800. That was the total value at OHE.
Okay. The total value is what now?
$359,800.
So if it was 340,000 last year?
No, it was $322,100 last year.
So that's my point, is if it was held up at 340, why is it now 320?
That, for when it went to OHE back in 2024, it was appealed at the local value, or at the local level. And we put a override on the house to show that value, and that override on the house did not get pulled off last
Know
year.
what you're saying? You might as well be speaking Chinese.
It was, there's a override value on the house that did not get pulled off.
So it got, when you took it to the, what'd you call that, not the circuit court, but,
To OHE, Office of Hearing Examiners.
okay, so the Office of Hearing Examiner said 340,
Yes.
but then it somehow went to 320.
Yes, because there was a override value that was still on the property last year that did not get pulled off. That's why it was at that 322
So you guys made an error?
level. Yes, it was an error in the taxpayer's favor. It was actually a lower value last year.
Was he aware of that then?
Sorry.
So we made an error and didn't even tell the guy?
That was not known, to me till
I mean,
looking at
my
this
point
this
is from last year to this year, the property values in Rapid City haven't increased. If anything, they've stayed the same. So I could see where he has a concern, but
Mr. Chair?
yeah, Commissioner Durr.
So in essence, what you're saying, the property value in 2025 for that assessment value should have been at 340, not 322?
Yes, I'm not sure what the value would have been, but
What did the OAS do, or the OA, what value did they give you?
A total value was 340,700.
Okay, so that was decided by a third-party, non-interested party.
Yes.
So you're right, Mr. Durr, it
Okay.
should have been 340.
Mr. Chair,
Mr.
Shannon,
Durr?
could you step up to the mic? Yeah. And in layman terms, explain the override.
The process to appraise a property when we do mass appraisal is to use a valuation model that appraises all of the properties using that valuation formula. But when we have a property that goes to an appeal, at that decision, we will override, flat value, pull that property out of the model and put a value on it, resulting from that appeal. We're going to do that here with some decisions you make here. But then we have to remember next year to pull that off and let them be valued using the valuation model. And that was the error we missed on this one. We didn't pull that forced-in value off, and it carried on to the next year.
Chair,
Commissioner Hadcock, you have the floor.
I have a motion, 265,3 on the structure, 74,7 on the land, 340 is the total.
So it would be where it was supposed to be.
Second.
Yes.
Big job. We have a second, or?
Wait a minute.
No, hold on a second. Sir, I've asked you once already. Okay, hold on, we're still discussing here, so be patient with me, please. I understand your frustration, but Commissioner Roskinek, did you have something to say?
Nope, I just second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion, but we don't have a second yet, right?
I-
Oh, we have a motion and a second. So go ahead, but I'll let you have something to say, so go ahead.
Well, I don't know anything about any so-called mistakes, because nobody explained it to me, but when we appealed 2 years ago, it was the next step after getting denied by you guys. And I appealed that to Pier, and you have to drive to Pier in front of a hearing examiner. And the county shows up with one employee from Equalization and a deputy state's attorney. So comes immediately an adversarial proceeding. And the hearing examiner, my recollection is, I wanted her to look at the other houses around ours on the public records, and she wouldn't do it because I didn't give her to her on a PDF or a thumb drive. I wanted her to listen to the hearing before the county commissioners, and she wouldn't do it because I didn't give her a copy, even though anybody can pull up any hearing here. Right now, we're being recorded.
Right.
So we went through this hearing, and 3 days, the last day, the afternoon of the day that she had set for submitting exhibits, I get delivered to me a 32-page reassessment by Mr. Mooney, full well knowing that I don't have time to contact a realtor or do anything, because that's the last day for exhibits. He said the property was worth $375. And frankly, we argued for a full hour at that hearing in Pier about that report being incorrect or inaccurate. And then when we completed the hearing, they moved to set it at $340,400. And that's 6 weeks later, she wrote her decision, and that's what she stuck with.
Right.
But the next year,
It went to $320.
and if you look on the public records, that house they still show it's $315 from the year before. They still have an inaccurate number on that.
On
So
your
anybody
house?
else looking at it has the wrong number. But the next year, they raised the value of real estate on lots on people on the upper level of Meadowbrook. It went up another 10%, the land only. They raised that, and then they lowered the building to come up with the 322,100. There's nothing there about any mistake or override or anything. They changed the evaluation.
Yeah. Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Durr.
just I have one follow-up. And so you know the number was 340 and change when you went to Pier, and that's what they ruled.
The hearing examiner.
Correct. You got your assessment notice, and your assessment notice didn't show 340. It showed a lesser amount. Correct? So,
No.
On the public record.
You
So-
mean for the next year?
yeah. So,
No, the next year, the assessed value was 322,100.
That's what
correct,
he's saying.
less than the 340 that
Yeah.
was adjudicated.
And it wasn't a mistake because they raised the value of the land
Okay.
from 67.6
All right.
to
So-
74 cents.
Right, this is my question, but when you noticed the difference, you didn't call and say, I think I'm underassessed.
No, I assumed they did like they always do, they're
Okay.
reassessing property.
All right,
They do it every year, but I did appeal it
okay,
because I didn't think it was fair that my property and all the smaller houses went up 10%. And if you go to the houses on Nicholas Drive and Dunham Drive and Ward,
right.
and the bigger houses,
Yeah.
they didn't
We're-
change a dollar. So I
Thank you,
did
sir.
appeal that to the city, and they reaffirmed it at 322,100.
All right,
Thank you, sir, and you have every right to take our decision to the OAS again. So we have a motion for
OAG.
340, is that correct? So we're gonna vote on that motion, Glenn, so.
That'll be, well, Deb said it, 265.3 for the land, or building and 74.
We get that over there? Did you guys get that? Shannon, did they get that numbers? Okay, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So motion carries, so we're gonna be at 340, so you have the right to appeal it to us, so. I can tell you, to be honest with you, I could sell that house easily for way more than that. It's a nice house, it's 1,400 square foot, one level. You're pushing 400 grand on that house, so.
Explain to me why ours went up by 37,000
Because it
initially.
was a mistake last year.
And then the house next to me and the house across the
We
street
can have
only
this,
went up by
we'll have this
1,000.
conversation offline if you want to give me a call or whatever, and we can meet in the assessor's office at some point. So, thank you. Have a good day. Shannon, you have the floor.
Item E, Scott Karen, and he is in the room.
Scott, are you here? Yeah. This is one that, come on forward, Scott. Jerry and I had conversation about this, so. And we had conversation. You want to take over on this one, Jerry?
I'm going to let Shannon go first.
Okay. Shannon, you go ahead.
Good morning, Shannon Champion, Pennington County Equalization, Ag Assessor. This property is owned by Scott and Judy Karen, tax ID 49380. This is located at 4498 Country Road, just north of town. This property was on reappraisal last year. Essentially, the ag status was removed, and that's what the property owner is appealing today.
So, Jerry, go ahead and take over.
No, all right. So Shannon, would you explain why you removed ag status?
Because under our current protocol, horses are not considered an agricultural purpose because they don't provide food or fiber, which is how we apply everything else in the county. And there are roughly 100 mares that occupy the property.
Okay. All right. And
Scott.
you, sir, would you go ahead?
What's that?
Would you go ahead and explain how you're utilizing the property?
Well, that's what she said's true. We raise and breed horses, and we do own some cows. We just don't have room to run everything there. And the cows are running up at my son's place north of town. And I guess that's really about it. We do
And Scott.
utilize it from an ag standpoint. As far as I'm concerned, I don't understand how horses became pets instead of agricultural livestock because they don't live in the house. And so we do $140,000, $50,000 a year in ag sales. I assume horses are considered ag sales. And
All right.
So I'll just help fill in a little bit, Jerry, unless you
Go
want.
ahead.
So basically what happened is, comes down to semantics. The law says that if you breed and sell livestock, that you can be considered for agricultural purposes. For some reason, our office has decided to say that horses aren't livestock. They're not farm livestock. We'll get into semantic about farm livestock when the law clearly says livestock. So what it comes down to is that he's not changed what he's been doing for the last, I don't know, 100 years, maybe?
Well, I started raising horses in late 1970s. My folks had done it prior to that. So it's not like I just dreamt it up. I mean, I've been doing it my whole life.
So he
basically.
raises and he sells horses. And for whatever reason, our office says horses are not agricultural livestock. I don't know where, yet you cannot find that in the law. It states that horses are livestock. So we're saying they're not. So,
Mr. Chair, if I recall,
Commissioner Roskinek.
to be categorized as ag, the principal use has got to be agriculture with an intended use of profit. So to me, that works.
Right.
And-
And, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
so, yeah, this comes down to, and we had a meeting, and so it goes down to, and you can look at different parts of the statute, and so if you just look at agricultural, it says, livestock, and so what is livestock? And horses fall within the description of livestock. In fact, they're part of the South Dakota statute talking about brand inspection, and they fall in that category and say that you can't move livestock without a brand inspection from West River. What do you get a brand inspection on? You have to pay and do that. If you don't get it done, it's a criminal offense. And so under one statute, it talks about livestock. If you go into anything talking about agriculture and just looking at classifications of livestock, horses fall in that. The issue comes in wherein taxation purposes in Title 10 that they talk about farm animals, and then they list farm animals and say that your intended purpose of raising has to be in these classifications of farm animals, and then somehow then they've removed horses out of that classification of a farm animal. And so you go back and forth in the statute and you look. And so what Chairman Weifenbach and I asked was, when we had this meeting, because it wasn't only about your property, we just did one yesterday, and it came down to where, does every county do this and say that horses don't count for agricultural purposes under the intent for food and fiber and production? And then I believe, Shannon, what you guys did was, looked and went to the state, and I wanted to know, had this ever been appealed going back? So has this ever come to the state for a decision and saying, okay, we as a board of commissioners say that we're going to say that horses are part of the ag industry, and so we're going to make that. And has anybody ever been, somebody that's been denied this opportunity, let's just say if you were denied here and we're going to uphold what Shannon does, has this ever gone and had a test case in Pierre? And the answer was no. And so even when we had the discussions with Shannon, and again, I understand Shannon is going through this, and we agreed that the Department of Revenue flow chart related to, this is not good. And so what Department of Revenue even puts out in the flow chart about, I drop down the slot and which way do I go? I go left, I go right, I go to the middle, and here's how you wind up, and this is where you get for a classification. Their own flow chart is not good. And so then it came down, and the question I brought up is, okay, so you're saying that it's got to be food and fiber, and have you ever heard of eating horse meat? And so, there are people that look at horse meat as a delicacy, and again, the slaughter market got changed years ago in the U.S., but there were a lot of horses that, went to slaughter and they went to food. And is it saying, who eats the food, food and fiber? The question I also brought up is, okay, in this case, and I mentioned it yesterday, that, I've known, of your horse sales for decades because you've been around for a long time. And so, and then we get down and then we're going to say, well, if the horse is actually being used for agricultural purposes, then we would need to go out and verify who the buyer was. And so if you're selling 50 horses a year, out of those 50 horses, did 30 of them go to a ranch and they're being used in an agricultural setting? Did 20 of them just go for somebody that's just going to put them in their backyard for a hobby and go trail riding? I don't believe that we should be going down there and saying, where did you sell? I want to know who the buyer was. And I mean, it's just, that in itself just gets out of control. And so it's quite obvious to me that, you know, we should be looking at somebody that's running a breeding operation and falling in that. I don't care if it's a sheep or a cow or a goat or whatever, it's all ag and you're using it for an intended profit. And you're going to suffer the loss if you're not doing it right. And so I can suffer the loss, but you know, I'm not going to get the gain in my ag classification. So my motion is going to be that they keep the ag classification on this property.
Second.
Motion and a second. Second from Roskinek. Motion from Durr, second from Roskinek. Any, Commissioner Hadcock?
So what is that amount then?
We're just changing it back to ag.
And what was it at? when
Do you
it
need
was
the
ag?
dollar amount in there?
Yes.
I don't know that we know that, do
No,
we?
it just, it goes from ag, goes from,
Should have been a couple of years ago. Do we have that
no, it's,
on record, Don?
So the 2026 assessment is $220,000 for land and structures at $445,800, and that is up from the 25 assessment at $23,000 or $323,300 total. So
So hold on a sec, guys. Don, do you have the old assessment a couple of years ago when it was ag?
Last year.
year's
Last year.
assessment, land
it's still ag. They're
Okay.
just trying to change it for
Yep,
2026.
classified as ag was $8,700. The building was $314,600 for a total of $323,300.
Okay, that's what I needed to know.
I'm going to
And,
put,
hold on a sec, Jer.
okay.
Let me finish. Thank you. So I've been thinking that for years, and I never really got it. And I don't know if the state would, do they recognize horses as ag? And I have not figured in my mind, in all these years being on here, why not? I mean,
We were asked to do a poll, and we did reach out to all the assessors in the state. And not that everyone responded, but everyone that did responded no, that they do not.
they do not recognize them. So what would you classify a horse as? It's a farm animal, it's a ranch animal, and where would you put it? That's where I never really got it. I'm like, okay, so it's ag, and they make money off of it like they do the cows. It's almost like you're discriminating if it's a cow and you can eat it before you could actually raise it and make the same money. If you were a business owner and you were making or trying to make money, you weren't going to say, okay, that cow doesn't make as much as a horse, or the horse is not going to make as much as the cow. Is that what they're saying?
Commissioner
I guess
Hadcock?
I don't get it. My bottom line is, I'm with Jerry, I'm with this board if we're going to do this for this young man, because it's never made sense to me for it not to be an ag. You are doing your job, Shannon, but I'll keep saying, there's got to be a part where we recognize and keep the ag status on people that are actually doing ranching, farming, things to do with ag animals. So for me, I'm with the board or Jerry of his explanation.
For the sake of the commission, I'm going to read you the state law. South Dakota Codified Law 4015 1.3. Horses are explicitly defined as livestock, along with cattle, sheep, swine, goats, and buffalo. This classification applies to agricultural, regulatory, and branding purposes within, and it goes on and on and on. So the state of South Dakota recognizes horses as livestock, so.
So-
But we got a motion
Yeah,
on the
Mr.
second on the
Chair.
floor?
So
Yep.
Shannon, would the number be with the 25 assessed value?
I was just gonna say, like, we're only addressing the land, so the structure value would still stay at the 445 in your motion.
All right, and so could we have a conversation about why the structures went from 314 to 445?
So it was reappraisal, so we were updating all of our information, updating conditions and everything. The big part on this one was there was a dog kennel on the property, and it wasn't described or being valued accurately, so there was an update on that. That was the majority of the structure increase.
Okay. So, yeah, and do you have any comments on the structures going up?
No, I mean, I get that. I think it's plenty high, honestly. I mean, I couldn't sell that house for what they're appraising it at, I don't believe, but, so, I mean, I never thought about that part of it. But to throw more out into what she said about the horse thing, and I do understand where Shannon's coming from, but either they should put a head limit about the process of what they're doing with the horses. If they're just training horses, I think that's a little different than breeding to sell, as we talked about, and that's kind of the statute or whatever that she's following, is that, you know, them, the people that just love it and want to do it, well, there's a difference, I feel. And they've knocked at the horse thing for a long, long time, for many years. They've been trying to get them away from being agricultural and making them pets, basically. And they hurt us from the standpoint of being able to go rent pasture, because we can't go talk to guys that go buy 120 acres knowing it's development land down the road. We can't go talk to them about renting their ground because they don't want to talk about horses, because it hurts them on a tax standpoint. They just want to talk to a cowman. And so we lease thousands of acres. I mean, them horses don't stand in my yard all year long. And but we have to travel a long ways to go, because we got to get out of the county, because nobody wants to talk to us.
All right. Mr. Chair?
Yes, Commissioner.
Because in Shannon, on the structures, do you have your stuff in there on the structures? As to why you made the changes and?
I don't have the specifics.
All right, Mr. Chair, I'm going to just keep, let me pull up my form here. I'm going to amend my motion to keep the ag status, and it's going to be the structure value at $314,600, land at $8,700, for a total of $323,300.
Are you okay with that? In a second, Mr. Roskinek?
I'm good with that.
Okay, so we
One
got a motion
question.
on the floor. I want to read you guys one more thing here, so there's no.
Question though, before you do,
go
can I? So Jerry, don't they, like a barn or something, is that included when don't they get a break on a barn or a structure with the ag status?
There is an egg
There's-
exemption, sorry.
And there's no,
There is
really,
no
from a
structures.
barn standpoint, there's nothing.
Okay, that's what, I'm just making sure we're doing the full picture. All right.
Thank you, Commissioner Hadcock, and I appreciate all your institutional knowledge, and, you know, so.
Can you repeat the numbers, please?
I'm gonna read you guys something, because it's important. For tax purposes, land is agricultural land. If this is the codified law, 10-6-112. For tax purposes, land is agricultural land if the land's principal use is devoted to the raising and harvesting of crops or timber or fruit trees, the rearing, feeding, and management of farm livestock. So the semantic comes when you put the adjective farm in there. It's livestock. So I don't see where there's any gray area here, people, but I just wanted to approach. So we have a motion on the floor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion carries. We're going to put you back to ag status, and we'll work on this whole thing. So thanks, Scott. Have a good day.
Thank you, guys.
Take care of the horses. We need to get more horse stuff happening in Rapid City and in the county here, because it's a big deal. So, thanks, Shannon. The other Shannon, the real Shannon.
The real Shannon, yes. The
Not this
next
here,
property, this is F and G, so we've got two parcels here. Mr. Pollocky?
Mr. Policki, probably, right? Whatever? Just don't call you late for dinner? All right.
I've never had that one.
Me either, brother. Me either. So, let's go. Herman Jones' daughter, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Okay, we're back again to the Highway 44 saga.
Okay.
Chapter
Chapter?
F. It's a saga. What chapter are we on?
Chapter 5, maybe? All right. No, I'll go first.
She's going to go first,
Yep.
and then we'll let you
Yep.
go, sir.
All right. Again, Laura Jones, Pennington County Equalization. Subject property is 10779. Address is 23080 High Seeger Road. Owner is Mr. Mark Poliki. The subject property is located along Highway 44 off of High Sega. It is, as we've heard the last few times, obviously we have land values that are have risen in the last couple of years. This particular property is 23.3 acres. It sold in 2020 for $360,000 for about $15,450 per acre. Current assessed value is $533 even for $22,875 per acre. I'll pull up the comparable sheet here. You guys see that okay? You need me to blow it up a little bit?
Oh, we got it on our screens right here too, Laura,
Yeah,
so
okay.
we're good.
Again, prior to 2025, there was limited sales for 5 acres or larger. In 2025, there was a dynamic shift in all of that with substantial increase per acre for land values or land sales. It's been, obviously, it's well supported for the current market value. The subject property is assessed within range and indicated comparable sales. For this reason, we'd like to stay with the current valuation of the land of 533, structure of 24,500 for a total assessed value of 557,500. I'll pull up the photos here of this particular property. This is the aerial photo. This is the property that we're in question today. He does have a pole barn or garage on the structure or on the property. He owns this structure, this property here. This one is the next property value that will be discussed, and then this one here. So he has access off of High Sega Road, direct access, buildable lot space here, which obviously he's built something on it. Yeah, that's what I have right now.
All right, so
So you make-
Mr.
Mr.
Pilecki.
Pilecki.
Mr. Chair,
Yep, Commissioner.
so Mark provided some comparable properties, is correct, Mark?
Right, and I have a spreadsheet here I'd like
I-
to give you.
And I'm going to ask the commissioners to go to, on your information that you have on your computer, just go down to my spreadsheet,
Is that the additional documents? Sorry,
or
Ron.
can you do it?
I think so, Ron. Is
Yeah,
that the? I
so
think it's
we're
this
all
one.
looking at the same.
Thank
So
you.
here's my spreadsheet, and it's the same thing that you had, Mark, just, but I put.
Yeah, I've updated it a little bit.
Okay.
Would you like to, I'd like to hand this to you, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you can hand it, and we'll just.
Thank you.
Based on the topography and the drainage of the lot, there is a summertime road that you can get in. If we had ever had winter again, it'd be very doubtful that you could get up and down the hill. The biggest issue I have is I have an adjoining lot, tax ID 10833, that's 10 acres, that they have valued at $16,000 per acre. And then there's some other comparables or other like properties. I tried to go through the data set on the computer and figure it all out. And what I learned by doing that is I could have 4 spreadsheets or 5 pages of comparables for each one of these properties. But we've got a 49-acre piece in Wilderness Canyon that's 17,000, or excuse me, that's $10,600 an acre. We have a piece
adjoining me that's $16,000 an acre. We have a piece in off Norris Peak Road that's $17,000 an acre. Nameless Cave Road, you got up on the hill and Brand piece, and is $13,000 an acre, and off National Guard Road is $13,750 an acre. I would say the topography in most of those lots are better than what I have in terms of future development. You know, they sound like they might be a long ways away, but they're really not. As the crow flies, they're actually all pretty close. And I feel that the value on my land should be $384,450, which kind of gets it back into line of how it was in 2025, a little more.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Roskinek.
when I look at this, the thing that I look at the hardest is when you bought the land last.
Pardon me?
When you bought the land in 2022, you paid $360,000.
That's correct.
So what I did, and this is just a suggestion, so that we know that's a solid number because it took place 4 years ago. He said that land's worth 360,000. What I did is I increased that by 5% a year, which would be pretty aggressive, but that's a 20% increase. And if I did that, I come out at 18,540 an acre. And if I take that times 23.3, then I come up with a land value of 455.6. It's a little bit higher than what you have, but I like going to the last sale of the property because we can't dispute that. That's solid. It's not subjective. It happened. And all I did was I increased that by 20% or 5% a year, which I think this year, the total assessed value of the county cannot increase overall 3%. So I think the 5% is pretty aggressive, but I'm trying to be fair both ways, but that's where I'm leaning.
Any other discussion?
My motion would be to take the 2022 purchase price and increase it by 20%, which would be $456,500, and then add the building of 24.5 for a total of $456,500.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Did we get those correct numbers over there, Shannon? I had to wake you up.
Can you repeat them again?
Okay. Can you repeat those, Ron? Thank you.
Okay, 456,500 or 18,540 an acre for the land, and 24,500 for the improvements. Or, excuse me.
Yeah, 455, 600 was the total. So, did we get that okay then? Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the next item. Thank you. Oh, it's same guy.
Same one, it's just the property that's,
Mr. Chair, I want to make sure we got that right. The land would be 432.
Total's 455, 600.
The total's 456,500.
456,500. Did we get that correct?
No, could you, what would?
432 for the land.
32.
And 24.5 for the improvements for a total of 456,500.
How much taxes are collected off that land? Just for curiosity.
I don't know the answer to that. I'd have to
You know,
pull the
Mark?
tax record, what your tax bill is on those.
I have my tax check right here.
How much, is that for all of your
That's for
property?
all of it, so
We
I
don't
don't-
want to know that because that'll scare
Yeah.
me. I paid
Yeah.
mine yesterday.
I was gonna take it over to the treasurer's office, but I didn't think I had time to take it there before I got
I
here.
actually go really fast with
Yeah.
the property tax because that's big money.
Yeah,
We got to get that in the bank.
That's right.
So we're moving on to the next item. Ms. Jones.
Alrighty, so this is going to be for tax ID number 72164. Address of 23072 High Sega. This is for 6.12 acres, currently assessed. The land is assessed at 274,100. The structure is at 379,900 for a total of 654. Back again to the comparable, I'll pull up the comparable sheet here. Oh, this is the aerial of it, so it's the property that's right next door to this big one that we just talked about. There is a modular that was put on there in 2022.
How many square feet's that modular?
It's 64 by 28. I believe.
1,536,
1780 or 1792.
1,792, 1,800 square feet.
So I'm just recommending a no change on this property. I didn't break out the acreage, I apologize, 274.
It's 44,787.58 per acre. This is what the current assessment is.
Yeah. Smaller parcel with a.
Right,
with
and
a
it's
structure.
actually just a site. It's more of a lot. So
Correct.
it's more
It's
of
more
a
of a
lot than it is
mhm.
acreage. So,
What did we do yesterday on those lots around there? River Run,
As far as,
the lots, High Sega, that area.
as far as what the, per acre,
What it was.
well, we were in that between 20 and 25,000 an acre. And when we get done, I'll go ahead and give you an idea that I have, but I'll let everybody speak first.
I think we're waiting for you to say something.
Okay, so we know that this, located to the west of the subject property, there's a 12-acre parcel that sold its access off of High Sega Road. And this property sold last year in 2025. And it sold for $25,000 an acre. So, I mean, it's within a rock's throw of Mark's. And there again, that last example I used an aggressive 5 cents a year. So if I take 25,000 and I take that times 105%, that's 26,250. Now, granted, that's a smaller lot, so I made a 25% adjustment for the 12 acres to bring Mark's up because this is 6 acres. And if you use that methodology, you come up with a 32,800. So you take 25,000 times 105%, it's 26,250 times 125%, it's 32,800. And if you take 32,800 times 6.12, you come up with 200,700 for the land, opposed to 274,100.
How much for the property, the structure?
And then if you add and if there's no issue with the structure, that's 379,900, and together it'd be 580,600.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
We have a motion and a second to move the land to 207,000 and the structure to 379,900. Did we get that over there? Someone give me a total on that?
580,600.
580,600. So that being said, any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, so move on to item H.
So you'll send new assessments to me.
We can taking a break, Shannon?
We have a property owner here for H, if you'd like to go to that, and I have a recommendation on it pretty quick.
All right, let's take,
Want to take a break, Jerry?
now let's just take care of the property.
Okay.
Yeah, he's here.
Okay. We'll take care of
Thank
it.
you, commissioners.
We'll take care of them.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Mark.
Mr. Kanata,
Kanata Ranch, yeah.
Kanata
So,
Ranch.
We don't have anything to show here. The appeal was generated through an attorney, and lots of back and forth and delays, and eventually resulted in Shannon going out and looking at the property. And she was able to tour the property with property manager, yeah, and who's in the office, whose name I'd already forgot, I'm sorry. Doug Albertson. So they went and looked at it day before yesterday, went over the whole property, and I have a recommendation to make changes to multiple parcels. There were a lot of parcels that were appealed. I've got a recommendation to change 4, 6, 8 of them, and I'd like to just skim down through it and then give my notes to those that are taking the minutes, and you can act on all of these at once.
Okay.
Sorry, Ron.
Go ahead.
The property owner's in agreement with the changes that they're recommending? Are you okay with the recommendations? Are you going to speak after on the recommendations from Equalization, or are you in agreement with what they're saying today? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now I did give this recommendation to the attorney yesterday afternoon, and he said he would talk to his client, and he said if we're not there, we're okay with it. So
Thank
that's
you.
what I got.
Thank
So,
you, Shannon.
I'm
Go
not.
ahead, Shannon, make the
I didn't know if he was going to be here or not. So again, I'm going to go down through these.
Just
and
make sure our stenographer over there gets your
I'm gonna
information.
give them my notes, so we'll get the numbers right. So just quickly, parcel 16898, from a total assessment of $243,700 to a total of $158,300. Parcel 64960, $21,100 to $18,500. Parcel 40838, total of $273,200 to $216,000. Parcel 67889, total of $431,700 to $409,500. Parcel 64963, $50,100 to $44,200. Parcel 64964, from $80,600 to $80,000. Parcel 46774, from $310,000 to $258,700. Parcel 40839, from $164,100 to $134,400. We have a lot of reasons for these changes that resulted from that inspection. I didn't think I needed to go into the detail,
Oh,
but we
that's
would
fine.
if you wanted.
Yeah. I just appreciate the hard work your office puts into mitigating some of these questions when they come up, and then working with the people and coming to conclusions. It's really narrowed down this list, and it's,
Yeah.
I mean, and.
If we're able to go out and
even
look at a
when they're-
property,
even
we
when we
can-
make a decision to change something, they're within a factor, that's a give and take factor. So
Yep.
Commissioner Hadcock is making the motion to address what Shannon just said, all those numbers, and the notes will be given to you guys to copy all those numbers, and then the second from Mr. Rosknecht, is that correct? I'll do a second. Second from Mr. Rosknecht, so any discussion?
No.
And any discussion from Jerry? No. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, and then Shannon, make sure you give the stenographer all your notes, because I know you're not taking notes. So we're gonna go to,
Reifenbach,
yep,
Doug, did I get it right? He wanted to address the board.
okay, hey Doug.
Thank you. Doug Albertson, I'm east of Scenic, running Kanata Ranch, but the main process of this whole appeal or background was the ag status on a lot of our ranch lands. And I know it's above you guys, it's a codified law about how the soil types are used to quantify the value of the land, regardless of actual use. So all of the ranch is under a conservation easement that we can't farm, so our actual use is grazing, but we're getting charged as cropland. It's just counterintuitive for simple things like grasslands conservation, native grasslands conservation to incentivize plowing it up. So I understand that's a.
It's
working
above us, but
one through the
that's
state.
that's an interesting conversation because as a county, one of our missions in our comprehensive plan is to keep agricultural land as best we can and suit it for those purposes. And so if you guys are trying to conserve that land, you'd think that there would be some sort of a
Adjustment can be made
classification,
on it or
a classification, because you're not using it as production. So I don't know about that, but that's interesting for us to know. So we appreciate that.
Part of the reason we got legal services with this, because there was a recent fall, September of '25, the South Dakota Supreme Court had a ruling on, it was East River on lands, farm ground basically, that was under conservation easement, and the Supreme Court agreed with the landowner that it was overvalued as cropland because of the ducklet.
Well, that'd be common sense from my
Yeah,
thought
Mr. Chair.
process. Yes, Commissioner Durr?
Shannon, what you just mentioned, can you pull that and send it to the commissioners?
That
Supreme
court case?
Yes.
There's a couple of them. I'll do that.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate that information. So just rest assured that this commission is committed to our comprehensive plan, which is agricultural community here.
It's my understanding, though, it has to come from a state level,
Right.
and there was a state
But
working group that.
sometimes if you get enough grassroots stuff coming up and the county can back what you're saying with our own research, it helps the progress of getting something accomplished, so.
Yeah. And, yeah, Mr. Chair, my comment on that is we look at that and then, again, we're the ones that have to implement, their department does, and we have to, look at this coming down from what the legislator mandates that counties do, but look at that, and then we can make an effort on the county side to come back and say, legislators, you need to make adjustments in how you're requiring us to value ag land, so.
Definitely want to keep as much ag land as we can.
Sure.
We appreciate all your efforts out there.
All right.
Hopefully you get rain, because Commissioner Durr never gets any on his ranch. So,
Well, thank you for your time.
you bet, sir. Have a great day. Next item, Shannon?
And, yeah, I just have a question on this item on the Kanata one. Is there a reason, Shannon, that those individual parcels and stuff were not in, like the packet like the other ones?
Timing. We just got out to look at the property Tuesday. Wednesday evening, she stayed late. Or am I backing up? Tuesday evening, stayed late. Working with the attorney, there was just
All right.
put it off, put it off, put it off. We didn't have time.
All right.
All right. Next time you tell them up front that you don't have time to put it off, they got a window like this, and that's it. So they're not doing their clients a favor. So
Next one's at 11, Ron.
we're going to take a break, and then I know Commissioner Hadcock has to leave at 11, right? So
Nobody's coming till 11 anyway.
what if you got to leave at 11? You can go now if you like. So do we have to excuse you, like make a motion to excuse you? Deb, leave? Yeah. Okay. All right, we're ready to roll. Shannon, go ahead. This is a continued one from.
Yes, next
Okay.
agenda item is, I think, it's Wheeler property, and it is continued from a previous meeting.
Go ahead, Trevor. So, there's been no adjustment made, right? And the owner wants an adjustment, is that correct?
That's correct, yes. Our recommendation was that there was no change to the property, and the board decided to go take a look at the property personally to make a decision on it. So I could definitely go through the data again, but we have
No,
we have
that's
gone through
fine.
it, so.
I mean, does anybody up here have any questions or comments?
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Roskinek, you have the floor.
so I went and took a couple pictures. I told you I would that day. I didn't get out of the car. I just took pictures from the car. I think Commissioner Drews went up and did a little more thorough inspection. And my concern was that he said from, I believe what Gary said was from, I think it was the deck on her property, that he could, he could smell the manure, so.
Commissioner Durr?
Yeah. So I looked at the pictures. Commissioner Roskinek went up there. I was going to try to make it up there. I did talk to the property owner, Tish, where this has come into question. And so I had a conversation with him about manure removal. And every time he does that, he notifies Dwayne. I did speak to Dwayne. Dwayne said that he took Commissioner Hadcock up there, who looked at the property and didn't see any issues. And I looked at the pictures that Commissioner Roskinek presented, and I can look at the depth of the manure just based on the corral panels and look at the grass on the outside and get an idea of the depth of the manure. And I obviously looked at the property through the photographs and did not see any issues. And, I live out in the country and I've got 4 horses and a crow that are just, adjacent, probably 75 feet from my house, and they've been in a crow all winter, and I can sit out on my front deck and I can tell you from 75 feet away I don't smell the manure, and I've not cleaned my pens yet from the winter. So I'm going to make a motion on this that we have a no change.
We have a motion for no change?
Mr. Chair.
Yep. Commissioner Drews?
So did you get a second or not?
Did I get a second?
Well, I want to have Emily speak.
I'll second it. So I got a second.
Okay, Mr. Chair. So I did visit the property and went out on Emily's back deck, and it's very obvious that with the prevailing breeze that you do have the odor of manure when you're on her property and on her deck. And there wasn't, that day that I was there was the day that we had our meeting, and there was not much of a breeze, but there's certainly the smell of the odor on her property.
Which, Trevor, what is this zone? Is it zoned rural residential?
I believe it's suburban residential, but we could look that up
So
real quickly to, Don,
allows
if you
for
don't mind.
2 to 3 or 4 or 5 acre lots?
It's basically low-density residential, rural residential. It's not a ranch or a ranchette.
No, rural residential.
Rural residential is correct,
So it allows
yes.
for 2 or 3 acres, and we have a nuisance ordinance in place. The fellow's been out there several times. He hasn't seen any issues. All the issues have been have a concern have been resolved to the best of his, and not to you, but to him. And he's our ordinance guy, so I got to take faith in what he says. So, any other comments?
No, I just want to hear what Emily has to say and what her recommendation is, just so.
Okay.
Yes,
Hear both sides.
I have asked this question, Mr. Commissioner Drews, too. What is the amount of manure that's allowed? I mean, I read the ordinance. I can tell you that my family raised horses, owned horses in this very residential neighborhood for over 50 years. Manure cleanup was a daily chore. It wasn't when the winter's done, especially in a pen or a stall. I don't understand. I'm so confused on me reading the ordinance and the county saying there's nothing wrong with that many tons of manure.
Right, I think it comes down to an opinion, your opinion
Okay.
versus our ordinance director's opinion. He goes on several calls. We've seen the pictures that Commissioner Roskinek took. I don't see any issues, and especially for the consideration of dropping someone's tax value. I mean, I don't see that. I mean, you have a very nice home, very nice neighborhood, very nice view. Everything's very nice up there. I've seen the Tish's property up close. I don't see any reason to make any changes.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
So in the real estate appraisal business, there's 3 types of depreciation: physical, functional, and external. External is something external to the property itself. It's nothing to do with her property. It's something external. And obviously, Emily's saying, I got a problem. Now, there's 2 types of external. There's curable and uncurable. Obviously, this would be curable. I mean, if it was clean on a daily basis, perhaps. I'm just saying that.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Durham.
yeah, I'm just going to say it's zoned to have horses in livestock in that we have an ordinance in place. It's in compliance according to our planning department, with a code enforcement officer this property's been under scrutiny for a couple of years and has checked the box for the planning department and code enforcement. I know of nobody that has horses in a corral that goes out daily and cleans up manure in a corral. And obviously, if you're in a stalled environment inside of a barn and you have pens and that type of stuff, yes, you keep those clean. But then the question would be, then every property in these areas that are zoned to have livestock, are we going to adjust all those properties because we have zoned and allowed livestock in these rural residential areas? And I think that's a larger question outside of this, so.
All right, so we got a motion on the floor, so let's take a roll call vote, so.
Mr. Chair,
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and support Jerry's suggestion, and the reason why is because at this point in time, there's not enough information to say we can reduce it this much, because somebody could come and say, why did you reduce it? And I don't know. I'd like to reduce it, but I just need some really good information to say that I can support that. So at this point in time, until I get that information, I'm going to have to support what's on the
All
floor.
right, so I guess we can just we'll just vote. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion carries, so leaving it the same. Do we have a next person in line? Thank you. Have a good day. Did you see that? Brian, you seen that, right? You said Roger that or whatever.
Yeah. Protesting.
We'll see if we can take it up here right now. I'm going to ask.
Oh, boy, in Rochford at the moonshine, he said.
Got something to do with the
We've got some guy
As long
that's
as the
going to phone
moonshine's
in.
okay, we're good. Huh?
Yeah, we're good, man.
Tell Brian.
Maybe it's the
We're on the same page. As long as we can get in and out of there.
And usually what they do is.
Okay, Shannon, sir, are we here for the next person, or?
No, not for the next person. Next person is Zoom hearing, tax rep that's going to call in, and he's not online.
Okay.
But I have somebody here. Joe is here.
Joe?
And he
Okay.
says Mark is coming in. This is a little bit unusual. If you look to the afternoon schedule, there's Crow Creek Sioux Tribe. They are P at 2:30. That's an appeal we got, and then there's another property that Joe is here for. So the explanation, there's a property in the Rochford area called Pashla. It's owned by a consortium of several Indian tribes, and that's what Joe is here to represent. They mailed a letter to my office stating that they wanted to appeal the non-ag classification of the property that they own. Part of that property is held in trust and is exempt from property taxes, but part of it is not. And that's the issue. They tell me that they have buffalo on the property as of October of last year. But the letter that they provided stating they wanted to appeal was beyond the deadline. It's late, too late to appeal, but I told them I would bring the letter here and at least tell you about it. The Crow Creek Sioux Tribe mailed a letter stating they wanted to appeal their property, which they own individually. They work together with the other tribes, but they own property on their own. For the same reason, agricultural classification, their letter was timely, but we've mailed 2 letters in response, 2 emails, nobody contacts us. We had nothing until Joe walks in the door like 15 minutes ago, and he can talk to both properties.
All right, Joe, you here? Do you want to come forward and talk about this?
and he is on the phone with an attorney who I talked to just a couple of days ago. And so,
So even if that application's late, can the commission can legally still give them that authority to have it as ag? Is that right? or-
this is not an application for ag, and I'm not going to argue that it shouldn't be classed as, or it doesn't qualify, because they've got buffalo on it, there's a use of it. The issue is that their letter to appeal was past the deadline to appeal.
Okay.
That's the issue. And so I'm asking if you would like to take that up now, because Joe tells me that he's got some other things going on and he can't be here later in the afternoon.
Right, I understand that. Yeah, we'll take it on.
So there are two properties. Let's just call it the Payschlaw property, and then the second one is the Crow Creek Tribe property.
Okay, can you give me the IDs?
I don't know that I have the IDs for the Payschlaw property, the Crow Creek Tribe property. We can find that. Move the schedule
I have
up.
no problem giving mag.
I don't either.
I mean, I get the intentions are my biggest deal here, and sometimes when you have nonprofits and stuff, things get lost in the shuffle. I appreciate that the Pace Law has their land. I like that they're doing that. I like that the fact they're running some buffalo on there. But, so I'll leave it up to the commission here. That is there a conversation we want to have, or a motion or something?
I'd just like to know how many acres are involved,
Okay,
a little bit
yeah.
more about it.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little about the acreage and stuff? So let's handle one at a time. Shannon, which one do you want us to handle first? The application one?
Let's go to Crow Creek Tribe.
Okay.
Let me see. We have Crow Creek Tribe. We've got one parcel, 47851.
They're all contiguous?
Yeah, well, in the area, if not contiguous. What? P. But we don't have anything because we've received nothing from the property owners. We don't have anything, so.
Okay, so Mark is probably T-minus 1 minute from walking in the store.
What?
And he's,
Oh, so you're waiting for somebody?
yeah,
Oh.
but he literally is parking his car.
Okay, he's your attorney or whatever?
Yes, yes.
All right. Is
Yeah.
he supposed to be handling this?
So if we have
Yes.
anything on the agenda.
Where's he been?
I'll let him,
We'll ask, you'll let it, all right,
Yeah.
we'll ask him.
yes.
So let's talk Crow Creek Tribe property, and Dawn is going to pull that up on Rapid Map. and we'll
Well, Joe,
look at
what's
that.
your last name?
Colombe, Colombe, yep,
Loam, okay.
yep.
Cool. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the Crow Creek property. Does your attorney represent that property too?
Yes, yes.
So you wanna wait for him for that too?
Yeah, there he is right there.
Okay, here he is.
And Shannon, help me out one more time. Why is there nothing on the agenda?
Because we've received nothing from the property owner, no contact until Joe walked in. We don't know anything about it.
Sir,
Ed.
we understand that you're the attorney for these properties?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
And then you're,
For being late, I thought it was this afternoon.
no, it is. We got you here early.
Oh, well, fantastic. Thank you.
But more so than that,
Oh, I'm sorry, Shannon. Mark Van Norman.
what was it, Mark?
Mark Van
More,
Norman.
more so than that, Mark, we're wondering, Joe was telling us that you were in charge of getting the paperwork in and you didn't get it done. So,
You know, I apologize, but, you know, I had diabetic foot surgery and I was in the hospital.
can you come to the mic, Mark?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know, I ran into diabetic foot surgery in December, and then I had to go back in for most of the month, again in February, and then do, you know, rehabilitation because they do surgery on the bottom of your foot.
Okay. So basically, the Crow Creek Tribe one, Shannon, we're gonna handle that one first, Mark?
Yeah.
So, what's the deal on that one now?
You can see the three parcels there.
Yep.
So I talked to Mark just a couple of days ago. The two properties, there's
Right.
your property and the Crow Creek one. We're talking about the Crow Creek property here. What is the property being used for? relevant to an agricultural use?
You know, they're using it for hay ground, and they're having kids come up there for, you know, youth culture camps is basically what that property is.
Okay. So the reason we didn't have anything on the agenda is I didn't hear that until now. We tried contacting the tribe and we didn't get anything back. So they do have a timely appeal. There was just no contact after that.
Okay. Okay. And so basically the tribe has a exemption anyway, right?
No.
No?
The tribe is not exempt. The tribe owns property that's held in trust, and when it's held in trust, then it is not taxable. It's exempt from property taxes. But the tribe can own property just under tribal ownership, and it pays taxes.
Okay.
All right? So the issue here is the ag classification. The tribe does have some property up there that is held in trust that is exempt.
Okay.
We're not talking about that.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Durr.
So was this, Shannon, was this property previously ag exempt?
Classed ag?
Yes.
Well, in the previous owner it was.
And then we had a change of ownership.
Yeah, the tribe bought this a few years ago.
Okay, but I'm saying, so for the last, since the tribe bought it, has it had an ag exemption?
I want to say it's been non-ag since the tribe bought it, but I'm not positive.
Good. That would be helpful. And so,
Well, there hasn't been an ag use
okay,
until
so
recently.
So when it's
Since the
sold,
tribe owned it.
so we're saying when the property sold from the previous owner, then it was reassessed as non-ag?
Yes, I think so, because there was no ag
Okay.
use on the property.
All right, we should be able to look that up in our record. Can we clarify that point?
So, Mr. Chair, I got a question.
Sure. Commissioner Roskinek.
So, is the land currently being used for agriculture, grazing, hayland?
We have been using it for hayland, and basically it's a sacred site up there to us.
Correct.
And although the ownership is in different tribes that we coordinate, and we're working to restore buffalo, so we've got some of our buffalo coming up, and what we're trying to do, we had been getting buffalo from different national parks, and we're trying to bring the young ones up there that are going to naturalize and consider it home and stay home, and we're working with the Forest Service to make sure all our fences are upgraded. So this parcel is just across the street, you know, from our other parcel that's in trust.
Right.
And then sort of on the north side, you know, the other parcel that we're not talking about yet, that's contiguous with it. So they're all contiguous. And what we're trying to do is, you know, we've talked to NRCS about it, and we've got, you know, we're rated for about 100 buffalo. At a certain point, we're up to 80, but some of the bulls, when you get them from the different parks, they want to, you know, test their mettle, and that caused a little difficulty. So we're bringing in the younger ones and getting them naturalized.
So I think that's about 175 acres. And then your land to the east, that's owned by a family, Schultz or something?
Yeah, we haven't acquired that one yet.
So
We talked to them about
Is this 175 acres, is it fenced?
Yes,
Okay, so,
it's all fenced.
Okay.
We put in a lot of money into
okay,
fencing,
that was my question.
All
and
right, so
it's buffalo fence.
then we want to make a motion, or?
Yeah, will in a second. Shannon, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So I did find out the history of it. It was not classed ag under the previous owner. So it has not been ag for many years, and I don't know how far back we go.
All right.
But the previous owner, it was not classed ag, not.
And Now they're just reaching out to say they would like the ag classification.
Yes.
All right, that's my motion.
Okay.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to classify this as ag, and so, but we're not here to beat anybody up, but if you guys have something like this, hopefully, Joe, you can help mark out in the future to make sure we get that.
I don't drive a tractor.
All right. So we have a motion on the floor to make this ag, which that's awesome that you guys are putting a buffalo on it and stuff. That's really cool.
Thank you.
We're happy about that. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
carried. Oh,
Hey, Mr.
opposed,
Chair.
same sign. Go ahead.
I apologize. So I would like to say for the people that are taking minutes, we're going to have to come up with the exact parcel numbers
Yep.
after
Can do
this,
that.
and the ag value that will match that classification, because we don't have that now, but we will get it when they actually do the minutes
Okay.
and publish the minutes.
You guys okay with that, team? He'll get that to you, Mark?
Yes,
Or Joe,
yes,
or
yeah.
whichever one of you guys are
Get the
going to be.
details to you.
Okay, now we got another
So
property.
is that
we need-
valuation going to be like 100 million?
No, it's going to be a lot less than that. And so, yeah, then there is the, let's just call it the Pachlaw property, and I don't have the exact parcel numbers. We'll have to get that as well, but it amounts to about 437 acres. And I think if we just pan that map down, it's just north, right?
So, and what was the issue on this?
It's across the street, on the west side. Northwest. Yeah.
You're going too far north. Go back down.
And then Shannon, I know you told us once, but what's
Joe,
the issue
does
on
Joe
this?
know? That's coming up to the Forest Service land, right? Yeah. So this parcel, we originally bought, 2,000 acres roughly, 1,900 some acres from Mr. Reynolds. And he wanted to hang on to his house that's about, a 1960 house. And his wife and daughter prevailed upon him a few months later that nobody was going to live in the house with him. So he came to us and wanted to sell. So we did buy it, and it's got some of the ag buildings on it, and we use it jointly with the other property for the buffalo. So we've got just 6 of them up there now, but that's because we're naturalizing them.
Right.
And we have a plan with NRCS to go up to, I think, 105. Yeah. So in the longer run, we're going to do that, but we want to make sure that,
So this is another one that needs ag status, Shannon? Or
This is the one where they mailed a letter, Mr. Van Norman did, past the deadline to appeal, asking to appeal that classification.
Ag classification,
Yeah.
so do we got to,
Asking to keep our ag classification.
It's actually
Right, okay.
an appeal of the non-ag classification, because it's currently non-ag.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of where the building headquarters are. Now, we did have a little bit of problem with pipes breaking, and so all the sheetrock is off, but we're in the process of rehabbing the house. And, we maintain our ag presence up there, and we have ag vehicles up there, and, there's various, what would you call them? Barns and.
All right, Mr. Chairman,
yes.
I'm going to make a motion, same thing as last one, give it to ag status. And then Shannon, you'll come up with the values and parcels.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. You can go up there now.
Shannon, your egg parcels are 10,380,
No, they got some.
10,398 and 10,400.
Yeah, I got those two, and I'm not sure if there ain't another one.
Well, that's a total of 432 acres.
Yeah, I'll still verify that to
Yep.
make sure.
So that's it then for these guys? They
Yeah.
I know Joe's got some stuff they got a meeting going on up at Pacelaw right now, so.
Actually, I got a daughter that's doing orchestra in.
Oh, you do?
In Colorado. So,
Oh, so you could head to Colorado?
Yeah.
Drive safely.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, thanks, Joe. That was a
Yeah.
big sacrifice. Well, we sure appreciate it, and.
No, thank you, Mark, and then, and we're not here to beat anybody up, but if you can just help Shannon out in the future, that'd be,
Yeah.
Joe.
We'll be on time.
Yep, appreciate it, man. Thanks, guys. And take care of that place up there. I'm excited to see the buffaloes, so.
Yeah, appreciate it.
You guys get rain up there?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
do?
it's nice up there. 'cause
I'm hoping that you can send someone down to do a rain dance at Jerry's place.
You know, Vance, our neighbors to the south one, it was a real dry year. He said, don't you gotta do a rain dance? Get up on top of Flag Mountain and do a rain dance. So the next day I told him, yeah, I did. Then it started flooding.
That's awesome.
Don't you got a dance to shut it off?
A dancer to shut it off.
Thank you all. We appreciate it.
Have a good day. Put a dance to shut it off. No, we don't. Okay. All right, next, Shannon, next item. You got the floor, sir.
Next one is J, MVV Apartments, and we should have a tax rep on Zoom.
Okay. What time is he scheduled for?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Oh, okay, awesome. Okay. He's here. Perfect. If you do want to introduce yourself
Perfect
on
timing, I
Zoom,
just showed up.
can you put your face up there so we know what we're looking at, or?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh,
There you
user
are.
error.
Okay, thanks,
Yeah.
man. And your name,
I'm
sir?
getting too old for this stuff. Henry Beck.
Commissioner Roskinek just said that same thing, and so he's not coming back
great
next
minds.
year. Yeah. So, okay. You go ahead.
All right, good morning, Commissioners. Rod Sletton with the Department of Equalization. We have the MVV Apartments here today. This is tax ID 63279. The valuation went out at $26,101,200. That'll be my recommendation, is to keep it at that.
Which apartments are these?
So these are over by the Black Hill State University campus, not too far from here. 180
Okay,
units.
Northern Lights Boulevard. Okay, I know exactly
Yep.
where that's at. Okay,
Not
perfect.
too far.
Okay.
Built in 2010. The valuation went down about 4%, which was common for this type of apartment complex. When we do our modeling, everything in the model that's similar to this kind of followed that trend of about around a 3 to 4% reduction.
So it went down 4% from last year?
Yep.
Did they challenge this last year?
No.
Okay. So just they're challenging, they want it to go up this year, or?
Well, I don't think they want
I guess we'll leave that up to the fellow on the Zoom.
Sure. So just to kind of give you a flow, I think I only have like two appeals to bring before you guys this year. I had like 60 some, so we've kind of refined the process of how we get the ones that we can't get a resolution to you guys.
Sure.
So,
Yep.
so just the flow of how this went, initially about a month and a half ago, I got the appeal from the tax rep, gave me a lot of information, and I like to just get down to what's the main obstacle that we need to deal with. And so I went through his pro forma, which I had. I think I'm going to bring that up right there. So I'm basically comparing what they have for an income valuation. That's how we value these, is on their market income. So when I look at all his numbers, we were very similar on rent, we're very similar on gross income, we're very similar on operating expenses, clear down to NOI, we were very similar. So what I pointed out to him at that point is when he developed his cap rate, the number that he's using was actually incorrect. And so there's some subjective things, there's data that can be their opinion and my opinion, but when it comes down to developing a cap rate, the one number that I was pointing out to him is this effective tax rate of 1.91. That's the incorrect number. The number for that is just a hard static number. It's the same for everybody. It's 1.33. And so I pointed out to him, a month and a half ago, hey, you're using an incorrect method for loading your cap rate. And I pointed out that if he was using the correct load for the cap rate, his value would actually be higher than what mine was. And so that was the last I heard. Month and a half goes by, I get nothing. I assume, just like the other 59 appeals I have, that I'm probably done with this. And so then I get kind of at the very last minute, his new pro forma, which is this one, and basically said, hey, you're right, I used the wrong effective tax rate, I'll redo it, here's my new one. Now he's using the right one, but magically his expenses suddenly shot up 116,000 to offset that. So it just feels like we're just playing with numbers here.
Okay. All right, so we'll let him respond.
Well, and just before that, so included in his new pro forma was this statement, which I had not seen yet. So this is the actual, this is from the sale, which we didn't have a sale on this property. If we look at the 2024 sale that we had is what we call a $0 transfer. So it's not uncommon between corporations trading assets where there's not a dollar that's given to the Register of Deeds because it's a related sale. So we didn't have a sale in 2024, but now I get this that says, hey, during the closing 2 years ago, this is what we agreed the real estate value was, $25.5 million. And so now I'm thinking, well, my valuation is 2% from a 2-year-old sale, so I don't know how I can be that off. And so that's where I'm at, and I would like to hear what he has to say to that.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I got one question for.
Yes, Commissioner Roskinek, sir.
So the 1.33, that's, when you load the cap rate, right? So when you do a hotel like the Rushmore Hotel or the Double Tree or whatever that is, when you load a cap rate, you'd still use the 133, right?
We're only loading the cap rate with
property type?
with certain types of properties.
Okay, that was my question.
Because, yeah, and the reason that we load the cap rate is, the reason for an appeal is the property taxes, essentially. So by removing property taxes from the expenses, we've now removed that disagreement, and we can make up for that removing of the property taxes by loading the cap rate. So when we do load a cap rate, we use the same number, the 1.33 all the time, at least this year. It changes every year.
For all property types or just certain property types?
For all property for all property types that are leasable, so that are on the income modeling.
So if you appraise the DoubleTree and you're going to load, you'd use the 133. That was my question.
Right, yes.
So it's just a static number?
It's a static number.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll move to the representative up on Zoom. Do you hear what we had to say there? And you heard what Rod had to say about your pro forma?
Absolutely. And yeah, I do apologize for the time in between communications. I have to communicate with my client. They were not communicating with me. Unfortunately, when that happens, I not able to communicate with you, and it doesn't make us look good, and it's not something I like to do. So my apologies about that. The income or the expenses being raised, I agreed with Mr. Sletton that I did have the incorrect tax rate applied there. The income, excuse me, the expenses, that was another mistake, just as I caught the mistake of having the incorrect tax rate in there. As I explained in the email, there's no way I should have had a 28% expense ratio on that property. That's nuts. It's runs at 35 to 40%. So I raised it to 32. But we could support 35 to 40. I understand how this looks, so I made it 32 in the interest of kind of olive branch. I don't want to do a last minute gotcha or anything like that. That email was sent out last week. Again, I was on the client schedule for that, so my apologies for that. Yes, we do have the sales price, which the client shared with me recently. I do have the pro forma with the income. It's assessed at 26.1 and change. Like Rod said, we're not far off. I've worked with Rod before. If we were both doing an appraisal on this property and we came in a couple % off, it's essentially the same number. These are opinions of value. So there's no great case here to be had. The client just feels it's a little too high. And I think we can really support 25 to 25.5 million based on the sales price, the real estate value of the sale. the income model that I showed, I don't want it to come off like these expenses were magical numbers changing or playing with numbers. I think anyone who looks at properties for a living can agree a 28% expense ratio is extremely low. In Minneapolis, we're at like 45% now. This isn't Minneapolis, but expenses are still up from a couple of years ago. Insurance is up. The cost of money is higher with interest rates being up, so forth. Everything costs more than it did. So that was just a correction on my end, not intending to play with numbers to get somewhere. But yeah, that's where we ended up at about the 25 and a half or 25, somewhere in there. Yeah, I don't know why my client didn't appeal it last year when it was higher. If I would have been on it, I probably would have told him to. But you know, it's their option to appeal a value, whether or not they did it the prior year. That really has no bearing on it. So that's it for me. Yeah, you should have my information there with a sale.
Yep, we got it all. Yep.
Mr. Chair.
Okay.
We'll get it, Commissioner Roskinick.
Yeah, I got a couple questions. So you said you had the expense ratio at 28%, and then you discovered that it should be higher?
Yes.
So what was the expense ratio that you thought was more realistic?
I have a couple of years of their financials. They're generally running in like the mid to high 30s. I made it 32% in an effort just to, like I said, olive branch.
So in the event that we're being audited, what could you categorize and itemize what, you know, did everything just go up that much, or was it one particular component of the expense ratio? That's the part that I'm trying to figure out. Was it utilities? Was it management? Was it reserves replacements?
I'm sorry, I can be more clear on this. It's never been 28%. That was an error on my end.
Okay. And my next question is, as a rule, real estate appreciates. I mean, as a rule, you know, buildings depreciate, land appreciates, but the rent and the rents in these, they go up, and the cost of materials to build them, they go up. So would it be, if this sale that transpired for 25.5 transpired the 1st of 2024, would it be safe to say that 25.5 could be adjusted upward for inflation? And that would be higher rents, higher cost of materials?
As a rule, real estate appreciates over long periods of time. Over short periods of time, real estate does not necessarily appreciate. If you bought a house in 2007, that house was worth less in 2008. If you bought a office building in Minneapolis in 2018, that office building was worth half by 2022. So as a rule, yes, over long periods of time, real estate is a safe investment bet that does appreciate. However, we do go through periods all the time where real estate will momentarily dip down. One of the main things that can do that is interest rates and inflation. And we are in a period where interest rates are up and inflation has been rising, I mean, at what, 3% since early 2020. So yes, I agree with you that real estate does appreciate over time. However, that is not a every year by a certain percent type of rule. As a matter of fact, we are in a period nationally where I would make the argument that the real estate market has softened significantly over the last couple of years. It's a cycle, right?
So when I used to appraise real estate, and depending on who you're doing the appraisals for, but after a year, they were obsolete, and you had to do another appraisal. You couldn't do an update. There's no such thing as an update according to the USPAP. You had to do another appraisal. And normally, when I did another appraisal, a year and a half later, the value didn't go down.
Were you around in 2007, 2008, 2009, 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I mean, I agree with you. Yes, over time, real estate does appreciate generally. It's a limited asset. But I mean, we're There are certainly periods, and sir, I was an appraiser for 8 years before I did this, so I totally understand what you're saying. And yeah, USPAP says we got to kick another one out, especially for financing, especially for banks. Those appraisals usually go up because the client asked them to. But yeah, there's no guarantee that real estate goes up year over year. That's just.
Well, let's go to the interest rates. This sale transpired evidently the 1st of 2024, and you mentioned interest rates. So, to my knowledge, the interest rate now for a strong for an applicant they were 2 years ago they were 6 to 7, and they're still 6 to 7. So, what am I missing?
Okay, yeah, I use that as a broad example. Let's talk about the cost to plow your lot. Gas has gone up significantly over the last year. The cost to plow your lot has gone up significantly over the last year. Let's talk about the cost of labor. The cost of labor has gone up significantly over the last year, or the last couple of years. Let's talk about the cost of construction materials, which have gone up significantly since we've had tariffs in place. All of these things are costs that go into the expenses of running a building, and all of them have gone up. What hasn't gone, I can't tell you what's gone down over that period. I'm trying to think of something here to give an example. Has anything gone down over the last 2 years? I'm trying to think. The cost? I can't think of anything, and I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm really trying to think of something.
So are most of the leases in this apartment building, are they year to year?
Most leases are year to year, sometimes 15 months,
So my experience with property owners, those expenses that you talk about go up, rents go up.
Yeah, rents go up a couple percent every year, but they don't always go up commensurate with expenses. Sometimes you have long-term good tenants. You don't want to make them leave because you want to increase their rent by 5% to account for 5% raise in expenses. Insurance rates have been going up massively over the last couple of years, so there's less profits to be had. That's typical when running a business. There's not always going to be unfettered growth, and that's especially typical when you're dealing with constantly moving expenses. And, if you're an operator and you've got, you're 95% leased or you're 90% leased, and you've got great tenants, it costs more money to raise the rent and kick them out and re-sign a new tenant than what you'd probably get over that period of what it is. Because if the buildings, or if the tenants, or if the unit sits vacant for a month, you're already not making that up. So yeah, if you've got a good tenant base and you're still making money, there are periods where expense growth will outpace income growth. And then it's up to the operator to see how much they can tolerate of that. But that's very common in apartments, where you'll go through a couple of years where, your expenses are rising by 5% a year and your income's rising by 3.5% a year. And if you're in one of those periods, according to the income approach to value and according to USPAP, your building's worth less than it was previously.
So when you did your analysis, did you reach out to different entities in Rapid City to look at how many apartment buildings are under construction, where they're located? Did you take the impact of the B-21 bomber coming to Rapid City? It could be as early as 2027. Vacancy rates, occupancy rates, rents. Did you do all that too?
I did read about the B-21. Congratulations, that's a big deal. But given that it will be 2027 at the earliest, it just does not pertain to our data value here. There are other properties under construction in the pipeline in that area. I don't know that those will make our property more valuable. It will just be more competition for our property, and it will push our property further down in the market.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Durr.
I'm going to make a motion to keep it at land 883,200, structures at 25,218,000, for a total of 26,101,200.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion by Durr, second by Drews. Did, Shannon, did you get those numbers?
It's no change.
No change. Okay. So, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Sletton. Thank you for your time again.
We're on break. It's a new break.
We're on break. Job. That's where she was. That's why it took her a minute to get here. So we're ready to go. So let's roll. Shannon, you have the floor.
Okay, item K, this is Third and Main LLC, and property owner is here.
Okay, Third and Main LLC. Can you? All right. Perfect. Oh, we got Rod again. Okay.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Rod Sletton again with the Equalization Department. We are on A, tax ID 74795. So I've just now talked to Mr. Bruce Hackala, and it sounds like we're in agreement with this recommendation. This is new information. So originally we were at the $1,149,700. That's what the assessment went out at. My recommendation is to change that total value to $1,091,600. That's broken down into $261,400 for the land and $830,200 for the improvements. And it sounds like he's in agreement with that. I can certainly answer whatever questions.
So the total on that, Rod, is how much?
$1,091,600.
And it's broken down 261.4 for the land, 830,200 for the structure. So, do we have a motion, or you guys want to talk about this, or?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I'd make the motion that we follow staff recommendation.
We have a motion from Drews.
I'll second.
Second from Ross Connect. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We're done.
The land is 261,400. The improvement is 830,200 for a total of 1,091,600.
All right. Thank
You
you.
wanna say
Have a great day. Rod's easy to work with. So,
Yeah,
did you have something you wanted to say, though?
Yeah, Bruce Hacklin, representing the owners. The only comment I want to make, and one reason some of the issues came up, is a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, the owners weren't notified the property was in essence split at the time. It was it's now split into two parcels. They weren't notified of that last year, and it was kind of a shock when we went to pay the taxes in April. And at the time it was split, it went from a $990,000 total value to 1.65 for the combined. And this may come up again.
Okay.
I just want to make that as a note that the issue came up with, all of a sudden last year we went to pay the taxes and they were, 65%, 70% higher than they were the previous year. Rod has agreed to come down to what we tried to discuss, but last year we couldn't even address it until late April, which was already too late.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I would recommend.
But yeah,
Rod,
I mean, he
he'll
came
come
down on
and
the other
explain,
parcel
and you guys can
also.
go over it and, yep, perfect. Thank you.
So.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Appreciate everybody's time.
With the next people here, Shannon, you got the floor, sir.
Yep, that's correct. Let's go to L. This is
Mr.
Cortez
Yeah,
LLC.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner.
Yeah, I just have a question, Rod. Yeah, I just have just a follow-up quick question. So, and then why was the property split into parcels?
It might be easier if we could pull it up on the map just to see, but the quick explanation is it's actually two different lots. And it had been combined for quite a while. There's an alley between it, so it's the Rabin building, and then there's an alley, and then there's the warehouse behind it. So it's on different lots. It's two completely different buildings. It had been combined historically for, I don't know the exact reason, but we do this all across the county when we see a property where the buildings are completely separate, and in this case, there's an alley in between them. They can be sold separately, they're leased separately, they're completely separate. They need to be valued according to how they're described.
So that makes sense because we don't know why it was together, but yeah, it should have been split a long time ago, so.
Probably should have, yeah.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Commissioner Durr. Shannon, you have the floor.
Okay, Cortez, and these guys are here along with Trevor.
Cortez.
All right. Good afternoon again. This is Trevor Abernathy with the Equalization Office. So the property that we're discussing is tax ID 37439, owned by Cortez LLC. This is the Hotel Alex Johnson. We all know where it's located, but it's located on the corner of St. Joseph Street and 6th Street. The original 2026 assessment was $13,984,100, and the local board changed this to $12,155,000. I'm recommending to change the value to $13,447,900 is my number there. This is $210,000 for the land and $13,237,900 for the improvements. The hotel was valued, feel free to pass those out, yeah. The hotel was valued using the hotel income model to generate the market value based on the income approach. This is branded with Hilton as a curio collection. And the income model that we use uses market rates for average daily rate, occupancy, and expenses. We did request to review this specific information for the property and were denied. However, I will say last year they did share some information regarding some extra parking expenses that they do incur because they don't have on-site parking. This year they shared some limited data on some FF&E costs, so that's furniture, fixtures, and equipment. After reviewing this information, we are making some reductions to the value of the property. We already had an adjustment last year for lack of parking, and additionally, with the hotel being a higher ranking historical hotel, I did make an adjustment to the value of the FF&E that is removed from the income value. So this FF&E is the personal property that's not real estate, but it is required for the property to generate income. So we just need to remove that value once the overall income value is determined. We don't want to assess that personal property. So these adjustments for the lack of parking, it was $1,087,100 reduced, and then the adjustment for additional FF&E cost was an additional $536,250 in value. So what we're working with, is the income approach, and since no income and expense information regarding the average daily rate, occupancy, or expenses has been shared to indicate that our NOI is incorrect, I'm recommending that $13,447,900. There is, when properties are appealed to a higher level, whether that's the state level or to court, there is some precedent with OHE. They say that a taxpayer cannot be heard to complain on such a point when he has the exclusive access to the needed information and does not give that information to the assessor. And that's adverse inference that they're dealing with there. I would say, as evidenced by our previous adjustments to this property that we made with the data that was shared, our office is willing to review information and make changes as necessary, but we can't do that without information. With this, we also have the cost approach that we did run on this property, and we're at $14,775,400, which is above our income valuation. That indicates that the $13,447,000 is not unreasonable. Just for some quick notes, I know Commissioner Rosknecht, you might want to have this for running some numbers there. We do have RevPAR for this set at $111.46 for the hotel.
All right, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Rosknecht.
Trevor, would you tell the other commissioners what the competitive set is for this? What you're using for the competitive set?
the competitive set on these.
For Alex Johnson.
Sure. So we do have them. We rank hotels by star ranking, and the Curio by Hilton is on the upper end of that. I would consider the Hyatt Place. However, that is much newer. Obviously, this Alex Johnson is a historical hotel, but as far as the star ranking and location, the new Hyatt Place. Look at the Hilton Garden Inn, Residence Inn by Marriott, the Rushmore, and then the DoubleTree. However, there is some differences there just due to size.
So, of the competitive set, how many of those motel operators share their income and expenses?
So I have gotten information from the Hilton Garden Inn, the DoubleTree by Hilton. Out of those two, I did.
Trevor, the DoubleTree, is that the one that's in the parking lot that we just had today?
Yes. Yes, that's correct.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Roskinek, I'm stepping on your toes.
No, that's fine. I'm just wondering, I'm just wondering detailed information where they said, this is our gross sales, this is our, broke down the expenses and showed you their net operating income.
Yeah, and I have seen information for the Rushmore as well. It was a little bit of a different context, but I did see it for that. I will say that out of all the appeals I've had for hotels, this is the only time where it has not been shared. So typically with appeals, when I ask for income and expense information, and when I say income and expense information, I want to clarify that that's not for the owner. I'm looking for property specific. What does that property generate in income? Because that's ultimately what we're estimating with our income model. What type of income could that property generate? But it's typically provided.
So the Hyatt, how many rooms are the Hyatt? And I think that's kitty corner from the Alex Johnson?
Kitty corner, yes. That's 117.
So do you think that with that coming online, that could have, they were talking, the folks with the DoubleTree today, and that thing's located next to the monument, but they were saying that they felt that the Hyatt was pulling their numbers down.
It could affect occupancy. It definitely could. I know there's a little bit of a background that we have for an answer as to why it affected that property more so, because there were some contracts that were lost to the new hotel that came in. So that was some of the loss. But yes, it's new rooms on the market.
So last year the board placed an assessment of $12,155,000 or $12,155,000. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
And now we put the DoubleTree, or we put the Hyatt online, 117 more rooms of competition, and that warranted an increase to your recommendation of 13,447.
So when I was valuing this property, I put it back into the income model. So it actually went down from the value that I had on it last year. So our recommendation last year was more than our recommendation this year. On average, I saw hotel properties decrease about 2.6% in our model. So the model value came down from last year, but yes, it did go up from the board action, correct.
Thank you.
I don't understand that. You're saying the value of the hotels went down, but this one went up?
So the value.
I just care about what the value was last year, Trevor. Sure. What was it last year?
The value last year was at $12,155,000.
Okay, so and then you said your model, because we went through this last year, so we established this price with the criteria that we had, and then you said your model said the prices decreased, but you increased the valuation. I don't quite understand. What am I missing here?
So let me get the property record card. Bear with me one moment here.
You just said your model showed that they decreased, but you increased this one from the number we put last year.
Yes, so with this property,
With the increased
following the model, what our value was last year, indicated by our income model, went down 2.9%.
Okay.
So I have that on the board document here, I believe.
Yep.
So our initial value based on the model was 14,400,300. And then this year on the model was 13,984. So it went down the 2.9%. From that original value that we had. Obviously not from the board reduction, because the
Right, well, I
board,
mean, what matters is what we had it at, right? What we decided here is the commission, this is what our job is. We decided it was 12,155 last year, is that correct, or am I wrong?
that's what it was placed at, correct?
Okay, so why are we using other numbers? I don't understand.
For that reduction, I didn't have any quantifiable.
And if we decided last year, I mean, these guys came forward last year, this is what we decided, and now this year, we're gonna go back, even though we decided it was 12,155, and your model says they decreased, we still gonna go back and increase it? And that's the part I don't understand, Trevor. I mean, well, I am missing something probably.
So the 12,155,000 was a value that was outside of the equalized values
But it was
for hotels.
it was the value that we put on it.
Yes, that's.
We're in this together, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's up here?
the board put that value on it, that's
Okay.
correct.
So, but, all right, so, and then, are you familiar with this? Did they share this with you? It looks like a price per door, is that right, Mr. Bradsky?
I may have seen that when it was.
You have a copy for him, for Trevor?
Sure do. Okay. Is this basically what we discussed in the office? So yeah, I have
So
seen it
they're
before.
going by they're valuing it by the doors? I mean, that puts everybody on the same wavelength, I guess, and if you value it by the doors, there's a 96.5. The one we just did, is that update where we just put it at this afternoon?
That's the update for the DoubleTree that you did this
We
morning?
we just did this one.
Yeah.
Right?
So that was reduced to that.
We reduced that one?
The 70,
Well, I mean, it was reduced from the assessment that they put on it this year.
Oh, where did we end, do you know where we ended up with that one, Trevor?
We ended up at 16,300,000 on that one, and the 79.5 per key is correct.
Okay, so, okay. And we only had 79.5 per door? And we want these guys to be at 96.5 and everybody else at 88? And the nicest one on here, Hilton Garden?
And Mr. Chair, if I could, with my recommendation, it changed a little bit from when this was generated, because that's our initial assessment. I'm at 94,041 a room.
So 94.1, but still over the 80, and they have a full access to a parking lot, but they don't, okay, all right. Anybody else have any questions?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Drews.
Just a question for Tom. So Tom, the city dropped it back to last year's value, to the 12,155,000.
Right, last year, that's what it was at, and then,
So.
And then it went up again this year.
Yeah, I understand that. Are you good with what the city took it down to, or for this
So
year?
I'd like to see it back to where it was last year, the 12,155,000.
Right. Isn't that where the city put it this year?
That's where the city did put it, 85,000.
Yeah. Okay.
So last year, the county took it, the county board was 12,155,000, and that's 85,000 a key. And then it was appealed to the city, and they agreed to 12,155, and that'd be 85,000 a key. So the 85,000 a key would still be 5,000 a key more than what was negotiated today on the DoubleTree, but I'll go ahead and let Tom speak. And
Oh, okay, I thought you were making a motion.
Well, I want to let Tom speak and then.
Yeah, and I'm fine, we're fine with reducing it down to the 11,945 plus the land at 12,155.
So the total would be?
12,155,000.
I'll just make that my motion.
Second.
We have a motion from Roskinek, second from Drews. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Rod. I'm gonna say again, out of all the places you guys do, and we get very few, that's, that we can't work out. That's very good, so.
Thanks.
Very good. And when Shannon's gone, it'll even be better. Right? Trevor?
That's right.
Wherever you at, Trevor? Well, that's what your hope is, right, Shannon?
I won't really care.
I basically, you're telling me enough's enough, leave you alone? All right. I'll leave you
Item
alone.
M, I think we've got Linda here.
Yeah, my great-grandfather.
Okay, and Jay from our office.
Boys and his brothers.
All right.
There was a flood in 1910, and it brought down big boulders, and that was a vacant lot. Landed there.
Which item are we on?
So
M.
Right.
grandfather's family
M?
Hiltner. M.
went down there. and
Hiltner,
died
Linda.
by disaster.
Hey, we're ready. You have the
That's
floor.
okay, you're just waking me up.
Sir?
You
didn't change that? Okay.
Pages. Yeah, that flood of night, I think
I
it was
can barely
1910,
see.
brought a bunch of
Nick.
boulders and stuff clear into town.
Boy, that's touchy.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
All
amazing.
right. Are we ready?
We're ready. You have the floor, sir.
Okay. Jay McKinstry, DOE. This is Linda right here. The subject property is tax ID 18773 on 701 Dorothy Street in Wall, South Dakota. The Wall board lowered her value back to the 24 assessed value, so 2 years ago, prior to the Wall reappraisal, which would put that back to a point where it would cause inequity in the entire neighborhood, especially when considering that all of those would have the reappraisal on it for their value. And then I'm going to go here and look at, I can get it. If we look at comparables, comp one, in my opinion, is the best comp. It just sold last July. It's one of the only other ones similar to hers that has no basement. Very similar in year. It's actually right across the street from her. And you can see that adjusts, that sale was $216,300, adjusts to hers at $191. And the sale price per square foot on that is $176.43. And the subject property is assessed at $154.17 a square foot. My recommendation, I want to mention one other thing. Through the appeal process last year, and she was very nice, let Christina from our office and myself both do a complete interior of her property. Also even looked in the crawl space, because she does have a crawl space foundation issue that we have accounted for. So that's partly why her square foot price is a little bit lower, because we have accounted for that. But I do recommend bringing the value back to her 26 assessment, which was $15,500 on land, structures at $128,500, total of $144.
Thank you, sir. We'll go to you, Linda, and you kind of explain your story here.
Okay.
Why you think we should lower it?
Hiltner, and thank you for letting me appear before you today. So my house is an owner-occupied house that is 66 years old. There's nothing fancy about it, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. A garage is too small to put my pickup in, basically. And when I looked at the, South Dakota Department of Revenue had a sheet on new assessed value limitations for 2026. And it talks about that 3%. But also, it's, one of the questions is, why did my assessed value change? The third thing on there says, your value may also change due to new construction, additions, remodeling, or removal of buildings. I have done none of those. So my house is the way, except for the color of the paint on the walls, is pretty much the same way it was in 1966. So I said that. And we talked about no basement. Again, nothing has changed except a few trees popped up. So from 2015, when I purchased this property, the assessed value has gone from $75,000 to $144,000, which is an increase of 48%. And at this point, you're going to tax me out of my house the way things keep going. And when I looked at these papers, I did not, so is that the one with the 117?
Yeah, so that's the taxable values there. It's not assessed values, but that's
Right.
what you're taxed against. Yes, right.
Okay, so this is the sheet that I got from the county, and that's why I picked the number I did. Because to me, it isn't even worth the 117. There are at least 3, if not 4 houses in my neighborhood that have been on the market for a long time, at least a year or more. And I just do not see my house being more than what the city said. And the city said what, the land is 15.5 and the house is 96.5. And I understand I missed 1 year, so I would ask you to account for that, and I will definitely go with whatever you feel is fair, but I don't think it's worth $144,000.
Mr.
Commissioner Durr, you have the floor, please.
So I know last year, because it was a shock, I joked with the rest of the commissioners because you're in my district anyway, but so we were back there joking, going through, these assessments, and I'm like, man, you guys are really getting hit. There's no one from my district, and we come back out from lunch or our break or whatever, and it was all wall pretty much because a wall had not been reassessed in like 8 years or longer. It was a long time. So some properties, I mean, they saw an increase of 100%. And so, yeah, the question I would have going back to this, and so if we just did a reappraisal on this, last year, for that 25 assessed value, what would make this go up another 8% over that reassessment we just did?
Yeah, so last year it was appealed as well, and there was board activity just like this year, local and county. Anyway, if that hadn't happened, and I know, you guys don't like us to bring this up, but it's a fact that it was sent out last year at 142,100, which would have this year made that be a 1% increase. So every time we talk about these percent increases, it's because it's not still equalized with the neighbors. It's whether or not they appealed. If the neighbor didn't appeal, there's only one up 1%. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why.
Okay. Mr. Chair, go ahead.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Drews, sir.
So, Jay, you said you had made an adjustment when you saw the crawl space area and the issues there. When was that adjustment made then?
Yeah, that was put on, well, I shouldn't say it. It was already on there, and so I was just double checking that it existed, and it did, and I agreed that that should still be on there. It's a 12%. It was a 12% functional for that aspect. It's the north. Correct me if I'm wrong. Northwest corner is. Which corner is it?
The north and the east side. The
Yeah,
north side
so,
and the east side.
but I was in there and verified that that was, in fact, an issue, and then but that's been on there for several years. I don't know the exact amount of years, but that 12% functional has been on there before. And so I agreed, after we looked at her house and everything, that obviously should remain.
Okay. So Linda, Have you ever attempted a repair on that, or do you think it needs a repair? Or?
Well, I think the last time, there was another assessor out several years ago, and I don't remember when that was. But if you say 8 years, I'll take your word for it, because I have a memory issue. So I did investigate what it would cost to fix that when that other assessor was out. And then it was somewhere between $10,000 and $12,000.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't have that. I did use some of that, well, I did replace all the windows because they were the original windows in the house and they were broken and not safe. And
Okay,
so I did
thank
get
you.
new windows, but
I'm gonna, what was it assessed for in
That's
2025?
about a $15,000 reduction, excuse me, for what's on there already for the functional.
So what was it assessed for in 2025?
A total of 133. So it was 15.5 and 25 for the land and 117.5 for a total of 133. And that was just after the reassessment of all the wall properties.
So now, yeah, so why would we change it?
Well, that was after, well.
After we
so-
made a reduction.
Yeah, last year, and so then it's a new year
I
every
get that, and I'm
year.
gonna make the same argument I made
Different
on the,
sales.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll make the same argument I made on the hotel. It's like, if we made the adjustment last year with the information that we had last year, I don't see why we would make a big jump this year. I mean, go ahead,
This is where
Mr.
I'm
Ross.
at. Don, would you pull up ID 19009? Yeah, it's a comparable that's being used. 19009, is that comp 2?
408 Glen Street.
That's a comp 2, right?
Yeah, yep.
What was that assessed at in 2025? Just the land and building.
and I'd say look at the square feet, because my house only has like 932
I know.
square feet with the garage, I think.
Not with the garage, but the garage is 351 square.
The land was at 16,300. The structure was at 255,700 for a total of $272,000.
And then what did that assessment do in 2026?
It went down 0.1%.
So it went down. Now put in ID 19095. In 2025, that's the best comp that we're using. In 2025, it was assessed at 192.4. In 2026, is assessed at 192.7. So basically no increase in assessments, but then this lady's going up 8%, so.
Right, I just mentioned that. That's because those didn't appeal and get lowered over the last couple of years. And so then they're at market the whole time instead of this back and forth situation.
So the question is if they would have, Mr. Chair, so if they would have appealed and theirs would have been dropped, then we'd be equalized.
I would say since I didn't have the numbers for last year, and I didn't realize it was 133 or 131, I would certainly be willing to stay with that amount, rather than go up to the 144.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'm going to make a motion that we value this at the 25 assessed value, land 15.5, structure 117.5, a total of 133.
Second.
I have a motion and a second,
Second it.
and a third. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Shannon, you have the floor, sir.
Our next property owner is Schultz, and that is item N, and we haven't seen him.
What time is he supposed to be here, Shannon?
2 o'clock. So we've got two property owners that are on the schedule, and we don't know if either one of them are coming in. One of them said he reserves the right not to come in. and that's not Schultz. We sort of expect Schultz to be here.
You reserve the right not to come in, what does that mean?
It could apply to everybody.
Yeah, wait, I don't know if he's coming.
Oh, okay.
But Schultz wasn't the one that said that. That was the last guy.
What was his, what time was he supposed to be in?
The next one was supposed to be in at 2 o'clock,
And then the one after that?
and we got one after that.
After 2. And that's the one that said he reserved the right not to show up?
Yeah, but he still might, so.
Right.
Is there anybody here that's up to
Because our
that?
time's not valuable either?
We don't have anybody here waiting. So we always have the spreadsheets, the list of properties where we recommend you make those changes. Would you like to go through those now?
Sure.
So at least we get closer to that 2 o'clock time.
All right. Yeah, that's the ones where you, usually at the end of the day you do?
Usually at the end of the day,
Okay.
except in times like this.
Okay, they're gonna
We can
go
do
right
it now?
back at it,
Okay.
and it's gonna be 16%.
All right. If there's anybody out there that could reach these people by phone, could we, you know, we value our time just like anybody else values their time.
We've
you know-
tried contacting them, and that's,
Oh, okay.
yep.
Thank you.
That's what we get. That's,
I
on the
appreciate
one of
that.
them, it was, I reserve the right not to show, so.
Yeah, I get that, I understand that, but at the same time,
And
Yeah.
kind of my problem. is that,
So the spreadsheets that we go through, well, work through as they appear on the screen here. We've got this one titled Ag Structure Corrections. So an explanation for this is immediately after mailing assessment notices, we found that we had made a mistake on some building valuations on some ag properties. It is an issue of external obsolescence. This is in an area where they're far enough away from town. A shop building in north of Quinn will have a less of a value than the shop building just outside of Rapid. It's that sort of situation. And we make an adjustment for that, and we failed on some of these properties. And we noticed this after we mailed assessment notices, and because we mailed assessment notices, we can't make that change. So we notified all the property owners, and we bring it to you and ask you to make these changes on all of these
any
properties.
questions from the commission? Yes, sir.
So this list is all of those that were?
It is, yes. It's all of those, all of the parcels and the building values on all of those.
So Shannon, when it's all said and done, what are we talking about for a final number in assessed value, the change? You got any idea?
I don't know.
Okay,
No, I don't know.
okay.
We typically apply an obsolescence. What is our obsolescence there? 78%?
Depends on the area.
Is it different? But it was only one area, wasn't it?
It was 3.
Oh, okay. What is our obsolescence?
So it ranges from 15 to 21%.
And we did not apply that 15 to 21% reduction on all these values.
Okay.
It could amount to a substantial total, but we never intended to do that.
Yeah.
What type of external obsolescence was it?
15 to 21%,
Okay, but
depending
what
on
was,
the location.
Locational.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
It's called If You Live in the Boonies.
Yes.
Exactly, yes. Yep.
If you don't get rain,
And I'm on the list.
'cause it gets no rain in its place.
I did not know that. Okay. Well, like I said, we did not intend to put that value on these properties. It was a mistake, and we noticed after the fact.
Do we have a motion on the floor or is
And-
more questions?
I just wanted to make a comment. When it was brought to their attention, and then I asked, because it impacted, me and my family's property and some questions on it, and then neighbors calling, and then I asked Shannon if you would just work with Cody to do a news release, and they did that. And so I just appreciate the fact that we recognized that we had an issue, identified it, told the public we're fixing it.
And
So-
we've had a few phone calls. A lot of these property owners, except for the letter we mailed and the news release, don't even know about it. We still want to make the change
And
anyways.
Right, but you did send a letter out to everybody
send a letter,
impacted,
yep.
because I got that last week, so.
Yep, yeah, we did.
Perfect.
But we haven't heard from some of these property owners. We need to make the change anyways.
So Gary's still studying them, so.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
And I'm just going to abstain. I mean, my name's
Oh,
on the
okay,
list.
so-
I'm just going to abstain, so.
Got a motion from Ross Connect
So move.
and a
Second.
second from Drews, with an obstination from Jerry. All in favor, say aye.
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 Abstain.
Motion carries with Jerry Durr abstaining because he doesn't get any rain on his property.
Right. It's a song right there.
Okay, just working down the schedule here, we've got 3 exempt properties. I bring these back to you. These are properties that have qualified for an exemption from property taxes in the past, but we did not get the required application this year. I told you about it when we did all the other exempt properties. We had staff go out and we'd tried contacting all of them before and failed, but we actually had staff knock on the door last week before, something like that. So we do have applications late from these 3.
Okay. That's fine. We know that they're going to be tax exempt anyway, correct? Jerry Durr?
You need to take action to do that.
Right.
I'm just going to make a motion to approve the exemptions on these properties.
I'll second.
A motion from Durr and a second by Ross Connect. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
So for that motion, do you need any more specific information?
No, because this list is, it's going to be in the minutes.
Okay,
They'll be
okay.
listed there. The video's posted. Everybody watching the video can see this.
Okay.
I think it's good.
And your people went out and made contact with them. Thank you. I know you went above and beyond to get
Absolutely.
that done. But in the end, it's the right thing to do because you know it's going to be an exempt. And sometimes with changing what we've seen earlier, some of the changing of the guards, whatever happens, that people miss these things, and we appreciate your staff doing that. So
Down to the next spreadsheet. All right, so we call this a no change list. These are properties that have appealed their property assessment. They've met with appraiser from our office. Usually, occasionally there's somebody on a list like this where we just have no contact and we got nothing from them. But we try to talk to everybody, and we usually do. And we don't see any reason to recommend a change in the assessed value. The property owner chose not to show up here and argue that. So we bring it to you because they still have appealed, and we ask you to make a motion to leave the assessed value as it was.
So move.
I'll second for discussion.
we have a motion from Durr and a second from Drews, and let's
Mr. Chair.
discuss this item. Yes, Gary.
So Shannon, the last 4 listed on that list is the same name as what we have scheduled at 2:45 this afternoon.
You're correct. I think that's a change we made at the last minute. So I do need to address that. We have, that's Trillium. I think that's how you say it. We got a letter. The letter actually went to the commissioners. Property owner sounded like he wanted to appeal his assessment because it changed from ag to non-ag. We had previously tried to contact the property owner about the ag use of the property, and we didn't get a response. Then we get that letter, so we respond with 2 addresses. 2 letters went to different addresses attributed to that property. The property did not change from ag to non-ag. It is still classed as ag. In those 2 letters, we informed the property owner of that and asked them to contact our office so we could discuss it. We don't have a phone number. We've got nothing back. But the letter stated a disagreement on the change. The change never happened. And we've tried, we've got no contact with the property owner. recommend no change because,
Because
the
there was
property's
no
still
change.
classed as ag, so.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Gary.
so if we change that from ag to non-ag, we'd probably hear from them.
Probably.
So we have a motion on the floor, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We've
So is
got-
that our 2 o'clock? Well, go
I'm
ahead.
guessing,
If you
we
got
got one
something
more
else. Yeah,
list
let's
and then
do
we'll
it.
be
Let's do
done.
it. Okay.
So our next list, we call it the STIP list. That's an abbreviation for stipulation. So similar situation, all of these property owners have appealed their assessment. They've met with an appraiser in our office. An appraiser's gone out and looked at the property and heard the concern of the property owner, and we have found a reason to change the assessed value. And we've informed the property owner of that, and we've told the property owner that we will recommend the board make that change. We don't tell the property owner, don't show up for the meeting, but when they hear that we're going to make that recommendation, they choose not to because they're, if not in agreement, at least happy enough with it that they don't show. So please make these changes to all of those property assessments.
So the one with Will Cohen, is that one that he, am I looking at the right one? It says,
Will Cowan, yes.
is that one that, is that related to the stuff over off the Deerfield Road, or?
It is, and I don't remember what the issue was. And Shannon walked out of the room. We had something wrong that year, and we needed to correct it.
Like a
this
basement
year.
square footage or something like
Yeah,
that?
it looks like there was a reduction, so.
I think you're right.
Okay.
Yes,
Yep.
that's it.
Just wanted to.
Yep. We had an appraiser go out and look at it, and I think it revolved around basement issue.
Motion, gentlemen?
Move to approve.
Second.
Well, a motion from Ross Connect, second by Durr. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
So that's all the lists that we do at the end of boards every year. And I think maybe Anthony is here? Yeah.
Are you
Okay,
here,
so we'll go to
Anthony?
that. So that's N. We've got Anthony Schultz. And then the last one, we're not sure if that property owner's coming in, but at least Anthony is here.
Okay. Come on up, Anthony and the appraiser. You got the floor. I'm sorry, I was reading this.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Derek Dalen with Pennington County Equalization. Tax ID 18880, owned by Tony and Holly Scholes at 301 West Fifth Avenue in Wall. Property is within city limits, kind of that western end of Wall, north of the high school, south of the airport. And I'm recommending an assessed value of $143,500 total, land value of $12,600, structure value of $130,900. This property, it is within Wall city limits, was appealed to the Wall local board. The local board reduced the assessed value to $112,600. Land value stayed the same. The structure value was $100,000. And this property, it was appealed last year in 2025. Interior, exterior reviews took place at that time. Tony mentioned that nothing's changed with the property, no issues. And a little bit more about the property. Built in 1950. little over 1,400 square feet, one level, no basement, 3 bedrooms, 1.5 baths. Property is in slightly less than average condition, and the assessed value per square foot is just under $102. Comparable sale number 1, that would be an inferior property to the subject. It's smaller, has an unfinished basement, less than half of a bath. Sold for $130,000 in November of 2023. And with this property, our office has notes on it that there's cracks in the basement floor, so there is a reduction to account for that. Then a superior property would be comp 2. This one is a few years newer, bigger, a little higher quality of construction. Sold for $235,000 in April of 2025. And then back to comp number 1, this has a sale price per square foot of $122,018. Then comp 2 has a sale price per square foot of $148.17. And I mean, like the property we just mentioned, this property, the percent change is significant from last year. This property was appealed to the Wall and County Local Board last year. And so that is the reason for that percent change is properties where their values reduced by local board, county board. Those values are determined. They're completely separate from our cost approach and our sales comparison approach that's used to value properties. So properties with those reductions, they tend to see a larger percent change of the next year. So that is why this property underwent a larger percent change compared to other properties in Wall.
Mr. Chair. What was the 2024 assessed value?
The 2024 assessed value?
Because I remember, and again, I remember these properties, but some of them had, and this might be one of them, I think, from 24 to 25, my recollection is you had well into the double-digit increase. It was like close to 100% or
50%.
Okay.
Well, yeah, this property was valued at $71,600 in 2024. And in the summer of 2024, our office went through Wall for what was called reappraisal. We went door to door, updated the condition on the properties. And so this property, I mean, yeah, you're right, it doubled in value from 24 to 25. But between reappraisals, there was a change in the condition of the property. It had new siding put on and some new windows went in between, I think it was 2017 reappraisal, then 2024 reappraisal. So this property is a good example of why our office does reappraisal, so we can get a set of eyes on everything and see what we're working with condition-wise to make sure that we're taking those things into account.
Commissioner Durr, you have the floor.
I just want to hear from Mr. Schultz.
Mr. Schultz.
He's saying it just the way it is, but there was an appraisal before that again with a lady before you were in the office. She come down and I had all the siding and windows and everything, and it was appraised and she said that was good. And then they sent me the appraisal from you guys because she come back down and reappraised it.
Okay.
And it was at 81,000.
All right.
Okay, I started out with 43,000, which is, it's just a small house and that, and it's just went up 60, 30 all the time. Well, I've got appraised values of different ones that I've just looked at that aren't even close and newer than mine, way newer. 136,000, and you guys want to raise it to 160,000 or 143,000. And I've got parcels that I could talk to you because I looked through most of this. There's a house down the street from me, parcel 46, 31, 35, 10, 16 is 103,000. And it's on a bigger lot than mine and a better house. And it's got a basement. Mine's just on a 2-block system.
Can we pull that one up?
Yeah,
You can pull it up.
What's the ID number?
46, 31, 35, 10, 16. That was the number that we got off the thing. And then I've got,
Mr. Schultz. Mr. Chair. When you say you guys,
Well, me and my
no,
boy.
no, when you say you guys and look at us and say we sent this out, would you look to your left and then look to your right? Because that's who sent it
Yeah,
out.
I know, I've talked to this gentleman a lot on the phone, and I talked to him last year the same way.
Right.
I'm just going by what I can see, even like Mark Hyman's is on the other side of town.
Here we go, we brought it up.
You got it?
You want the valuation or the property information?
So we're comparing apples to apples. What is the,
Look at the house here real quick.
It's a 2-story house. Full basement.
It has a
built in,
reduction on it for some kind of functional issue.
And and on our end, for us to look at properties like this, I don't know anything about this property. I have no idea if it's sold, because sales and condition, those are the big things that drive value on our end. Just looking at this one, we had a functional on it, functional obsolescence. There's something going on with this property that's negatively impacting the value. So this is one that, not knowing any more about it with the reduction on it, I would question if it would qualify for conventional lending. It might be a cash buyer that's interested in something like this. So that's the challenge with going through these properties and looking at pulling them up on Rapid Map, not knowing more about them if they've sold. There's different condition factors our office needs to take into account, and it looks like this one certainly does suffer some from an obsolescence that's impacting its value.
yeah, I would agree with that. You can tell by looking at it, so. And I think she noted that, right? You just said there was some kind of a
There is
hit
some
on
kind of
this
reduction
property.
on it, yeah.
I don't understand why it's,
So it's like there's something wrong with this property that we're not aware
no,
of?
I work with it. It's owned by Wall Drug. So
You mean
it can't-
foundation?
Foundation work was redone.
Okay.
And
Well,
it's.
thanks for letting us know, because we're gonna raise that
Well,
one
what
now.
I'm saying is, I'm going through the same as you guys are.
Yep.
And I can't, like, he's got comparison number 2 on here for 122,000. That house just sold, and it's an older house, but it just had new siding and new shingles put on it. I live in the town, so I'm a carpenter, so I know what goes on in this
So
town.
you're doing the work, huh?
Well, and then this house on the other side of town is Mark Hyman's. I can give you the number, and his is at
We'll pull it- we'll pull it
136,000,
up.
and he's got way newer home than I do. Bigger lot.
Okay, let's pull that one up, please.
And you mentioned comp 2, Tony. Is that the same one I ran by you, the 218 Fifth Avenue?
I gotta look at it. It's 607 Husted Street.
Okay.
That's one of them. And then I've got bunches of them that I've kind of compared with them, trying to figure out where you're coming up with something I have old and they have newer, way newer. That's why I'm here, but
That property we just looked at was built in 1909.
Yeah, very.
yes, been remodeled severely.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
so what is the one you mentioned, the Heinrich or Heinrich?
Hyman, that's a newer home on the
What
other
is,
side.
what is the parcel ID?
Parcel ID.
Is that what we have right here?
Parcel ID is 6305-104-009.
Yeah, that's this one.
All right.
That's this one? Okay.
And I do believe it has a basement. And it's got a garage attached to it. It's a sizable home. And all I can do is, I just look at the difference, trying to figure out why mine went up as much. You know, I don't mind it going up, but it went up 60,000 last year, and I got it reduced down to 20,000. Well, now we go back up again, another 30,000. Well, where are we gonna stop, fellas? Because is it gonna go up next year another 30,000?
That's what Mr. Drew said.
Yeah. Is it gonna go up another 30,000? Am I gonna be, you know,
So, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'm going to make a motion that we stay at the 2025 assessed value, similar to the other wall property we just did. Land at 12,600, structure at 100,000 for a total of 112,600.
Second.
Have a motion from Durr and a second by Drews. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yep,
I hope it don't go up next year, because I'll be back.
you'll be back.
We'll be back. We'll see you next year.
I don't mind it going up a little bit, but I'm thank you anyway, buddy.
We have one property owner left, but his appointment's at 2:15, so do you want to take a break and at least?
We'll take a break,
wait till
Shannon.
then?
Yep.
Okay, so the last property owner is, it must be Boyce Kennedy, and Jay just gave him a call, and he says he's not coming in, but I think Jay has a recommendation on it.
Thank you. Thanks for calling him.
Yeah. Yeah, so he was the one that said, I reserve the right not to come in, but whatever. That's,
Right.
I mean,
But
we
you called
do
him.
our best, you know, like you said, to get them to pin down whether they're gonna come or not.
I mean,
'cause
if
we're-
you look at the overall picture, it just went really smooth. You
And
guys got a
it's-
really hard job.
Yep,
Whatever we talk about up here, don't take personally. You guys, I mean, it's,
absolutely not.
so we
No.
appreciate what
No, I think
you
this year,
guys have done, so.
this year for me was much better than last year. And one of the reasons too is it's digital and that Mr. Roskinek has been here for all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't out drowning worms.
Him and Shannon next year will be at the Moonshine Gulch when we're going through this. So I heard him talking earlier about it. So, but Gary even expressed his gratitude towards you guys too. So just wanted to let you know. So go ahead and give us a recommendation. We'll make a
Yes.
motion. And
Yeah,
we'll,
so this is for tax ID 18836, Boyce Kennedy, also in Wall. The local board, again, lowered the value. My recommendation is back to what we sent out for 2026, which is 15,000 for land, 259,400 for structures, 274,400 total. I will say one thing, even though he didn't show, I did have a few phone conversations with him, and through that, he did say that I explained things well and that he understood. One of the issues with his percent increase was, we had one like this earlier in the day, you might remember. His value for 25 had an override left on it from the year before during appeals that we should have taken off and did not. So he had the wrong, I won't say wrong, he had a value on it for 2 years in a row that wouldn't have been on there if we except for the fact that we didn't catch that.
and he's aware of that now.
He's aware of that.
Okay, perfect.
Doesn't mean
He's happy
like
with it.
yeah, that's right.
No, I
Doesn't
get
mean
it.
he's happy, but that's what happened. Because he would have been at 27600 last year, so you can see that increase would have been about, like we said, there wasn't much increase,
I'll entertain a
$4,000.
motion from you guys on this item.
I was just looking at this at comp one, that's pretty similar to the subject, isn't it?
Yes. That's right. The only difference with that one, it sold for $360, and that's mainly because it has a large detached garage. Otherwise, it is. And then really, if you look at all of them for, he's in the range for the sale price per square foot as well. I think comp 3 is actually the best comp for him. That sold at $240, but his is larger and quite a bit newer, and it adjusts at $286 for an adjusted sale price, and we have him at $274,400.
So what's the price per square foot then?
$196 a square foot.
Okay. Well, I think your sales are very supportive.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and make a motion to keep it the same, or
Okay.
when I have to take it, I was on so the motion would be to maintain the 2026 assessed value of 274.4.
15,000 for land, 259.4 for the structure.
Correct.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion from Ross Connect, second by Drews. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. We're all done for this year.
So when you go upstairs, make sure you tell everybody that we appreciate their hard work.
Yep.
Don't forget that.
I don't know if you guys,
Thanks.
we're gonna.
Heard it, so
Oh,
thanks.
good, okay. And then,
Did you say when you go upstairs?
do we need to,
Oh, excuse me.
do we need to adjourn, or?
No, not adjourned, because you have until Tuesday.
To hear anybody-
Commission meeting, you need to adjourn.
Okay, thanks you. So we're on recess. Thank you.
You don't have to go upstairs.